All the hydroponics are
I'll
messing
move
with
to
your.
the edge.
Menu Wi-Fi.
Oh, I should set up the roll anything.
Mini Wi-Fi.
Let's see.
Mark, I sent you
Yeah.
the screenshot that it
I
froze
saw
at. It's pretty good. I only sent it to Mark. I'll send it to everybody.
Oh
The
Delightful.
no.
So Mark was frozen on my screen.
expressions.
Smear frames.
Don't save in System 32. Why would I want to save a screenshot there? That's a dumb place to save a screenshot.
What's the file name again? Screenshot the file name. Oh, there it is. Oh, cool. Yeah.
How about save in documents? I mean,
lame.
downloads. Downloads is where you save things, not System 32.
Sounds like a Windows problem.
I think it's probably because I've never
There
seen
we
None of
go.
these are
a lot of this
actually
Zoom
Victorian
meeting
dining
before.
rooms.
Perfect.
Oh, we're streaming now. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. This is the
It's
good
a
part.
thing. It's all happening.
Yeah, I wonder if I
Damn it.
I wonder if I just need to turn my computer off and on.
That's
You just
that
pop
does
the
solve a
Wi-Fi
lot
off
of
and on or
things.
something. It does.
Ah,
I'm gonna
didn't-
yeah, I'm
didn't
gonna try
bring
that
my
out. I'll be
cleaning
right back.
cloth. God,
See you in a
I
bit.
don't bring my cleaning cloth, and then I use my T-shirt instead, and it just makes things worse.
Oh no.
Whoa. That's why I got 1 million of these. And
Oh,
leave them
yeah.
everywhere. Because I'm gonna lose them all the time.
Oh yeah.
You just get a like steady state going where it's saturated with
Yeah.
them, and so you keep
Yep.
losing them, and
I mean,
then you just reach out at random, and one is summoned.
I do
I
that
have
with
a similar
those,
thing,
with little
you know, in my
pencil
actual house,
sharpeners. Yeah. It's like a lot of little things that are cheap that keep getting lost.
Yeah.
Of course, the longer I house sit, the more and more shit I accumulate. By the time I actually go back home, I'm going to have so much stuff to take back home. Because I haven't been home in 6 months now. So over the course of that time, you
Oh,
go home,
wow.
you pick up 1 or 2 more
Oh.
things. You go home, pick up 1 or 2 more things, and now I'm pretty sure I've got about 50% of my belongings with me where I'm
Longer
out
than
sitting.
some relationships or have a dance party, have a dinner party. There'll be no dancing at Brathwaite Hall that I know of. We'll find
Lewis
out.
doesn't follow your rules.
If Lewis is there, every party is a dance party.
Or honk, rather.
Honk.
I need to see if Midjourney will generate Goose Game style graphics.
I'm sure it will. There should be enough images out there that it can scrape
Is
from.
Midjourney the same thing as what was DALL-E and became something? There's so many AIs now, I can't keep track.
I think it uses the same
Stable diffusion
what do they call the
model.
data? Yeah, the same model, but different, slightly different implementation of it. That's
I thought
what
it
it's
was
on
called
the.
Stable diffusion.
Yeah, Stable Diffusion is another implementation of the same. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
GPT-3. It's whatever the underlying model is. Some
I
acronym.
gotta look this
And
up.
what, like, DALL-E is not DALL-E anymore. It became something else.
Yeah, they changed it to
Can't remember what it's called now.
something IO.
Yeah, I
Latent
thought that.
diffusion model.
Thought it had AI in the word in the name. there,
Yeah.
something AI.
The diffusion
Um,
model.
Skynet, something I don't know.
Crayon is a crayon now.
Yeah,
Oh,
crayon.
that's right, yeah.
spelled wrong.
Yeah,
Crayon with
CRAI
AI
on.
in it. Yeah.
yeah. I just use Midjourney the most because that's what the bot on the Discord is.
Oh,
So-
sure. Wow, the Wikipedia page for Stable Diffusion includes a generated image of Vladimir Putin, photorealistic image of Vladimir Putin bowing to the Ukrainian flag.
Amazing.
Very nice.
Wow, those are pretty good. Astronaut on a horse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've been talking with, following some folks who are doing more like photorealistic or like things that look more like not Midjourney, like
Yeah.
crazy background stuff.
Oh,
and they're
right,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I do like 80 generations and then start doing like picking the best one of those and then start doing variations on them and then taking the best one of those, do like another 40 off of that and upscaling it with a beta something or other. And I'm like, okay, so it's not just putting words into a prompt. It's like these people are spending like a day
Coming up with, yeah.
curating. So still not painting, but you do have to work a little bit to get something out of it.
That reminds me, I probably need to eventually buy a Quest 2 so I can buy Vermilion and spend my days doing Bob Ross stuff. And
Oh yeah.
Well, now they're about to come out with a new Quest whatever, right? A new Quest Pro or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that?
I hope not, because I just bought a new.
Yeah.
I just bought myself
Oh,
a two. I
Supposedly,
got it the day
yeah.
before the price went up.
I don't
Oh,
know
oh,
when. I don't know when, but at some point in the nearest future, I think they're coming out
Huh.
with supposedly a Quest Pro.
and if they continue their quality metrics, it'll be worse than the Quest 2. All right.
It'll just be harder.
Part of the Quest 2. Yeah, fit on one space.
Oh, God, this is I can't get the windows like I want. There we go.
I think it's
That's
better.
pretty cool. A little bit better.
Because I think there's been some leaks. Like somebody, I think one of the developers like left a Quest
Oh.
Pro in his hotel room, and somebody found it and like leaked the photos and stuff of it.
Thought you were talking about the house you were house sitting.
Oh no! Sorry, not literal leaks.
Let's see. Still have that.
But now I'm
Yep.
worried because like, unless things have changed, which I hope they have. Like last time I checked, there was like, if I got a new Quest, my mini golf progress wouldn't transfer to the new thing.
Mm.
Supposedly, like you couldn't
Oh.
even supposedly side quest it.
Ew. Ew.
Ooh.
So hopefully that's changed because that's a pretty big deal to save your progress in your games doing when you upgrade
Yeah.
a device. I've got all those balls and all those putters.
Keep all the balls.
I don't want to have to find them all again.
Speaking of things, I need a
T-Rex!
million of everywhere. I've got like a giant bundle of like cheapo mechanical pencils, but then I got a couple nice ones. I got two of them,
Oh.
and I can only find one. So
Ooh.
one will do.
One will do, donkey.
Let's see. Today is I don't know what day it is. 11th.
11th.
Oh, yeah.
We've done
October.
so
Shit.
many RPGs that all these backgrounds from some of these other ones, I'm like, what was that from?
What even was it?
Just thinking the other night about how like this already at this point, I'm sure is the absolute longest running thing we've done
Yeah, for sure.
by far.
Yeah, except for my Stars in the Dark game. Like this is probably the longest continuous game I've been in since college for like
Cool.
Even
in,
though
like,
it's not a contest.
30 years.
We will be.
Oh, I have more notes. Look at that. The Queen's Fists.
That's
right.
okay because it all ends tonight when we all die at dinner.
Yay.
Maybe.
Except for Lewis.
We
I
can play
haven't
as our
Not at
children.
dinner. Lewis single-handedly takes out the figs.
I have a note that just
Yeah,
says
all
old
the
Winthorpe
kids will split
plus
up.
plus, and I don't know what it means.
Old
I think-
Winthorpe. Oh, no.
I think it was I
Old
think it was a
Winthorpe.
Francis thing.
Yeah, that would have been. He was the bachelor in Aldery or Adrieli or in
Alderley, yeah.
Alderley. Still
Ardely. Actually.
Ardely. And so Francis went to visit him and talked about
Right.
gossip in the town and got drunk and then
Love
came
it.
home too late and then was terrorized by a goat.
I think I'm also missing one of Francis's thralls. I think it's the one that
Oh no.
I made a thrall because of a 7-9 result
Okay.
recently.
Well, luckily, we're sponsored by Asana. Asana, how you can organize your thralls.
Let me see. I've got.
We're
You
not-
don't say the
we're
name
not-
until we get the check.
Sorry. Ashwana.
Was this last week?
I think it was maybe the night before.
That
Or last
seems,
week,
I'm not
that
sure.
definitely sounds like something that happened very recently.
Yeah, I remember it was like you could do the thing, but this guy's a thrall.
Yeah, I
don't
see
remember who it
Victoria
was.
is a thrall. but I don't know who Victoria is.
Oh yeah, one of the bad guys.
Vittorio.
No, not Vittorio, or maybe it is Victoria. Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah, it should be him
It's
because
just the
Victoria.
transcript being dumb.
We did
Victoria
solve one of
is-
the like.
yeah.
Oh, Old Winthrop is
Sea
actually
monster
one of your
ones.
thralls.
Oh,
okay.
Old Winthrop is the thrall. Great.
Yeah, there we go. I
Put him
got a
on-
bunch of
put him on the
transcripts sticking
list.
around here. Sorry, what were you saying? I
Old
talked over you.
Winthrop.
There's also the cult leader guy.
Victoria is Sally No Face's real name, right?
Correct.
Yeah, not a thrall.
Yeah.
Yet. Wait.
Not to be confused with Vittorio.
Stay away.
Well, we'll see how that works out.
Oh,
Yeah, so far the thralls I have are Irma Thicket, the cook from St. James Place, Inspector Patterson, who's a cop, who I'm not sure if he's dead or not. I think he might be dead. He's the
Okay.
one that busted Paloma and Francis coming out of the Penny Arcade, I think, early on.
Oh,
There's
okay.
Thomas Simpson from who was the proprietor of Cremorne Gardens, a cult leader.
Chauncey.
Abel Knox, who's a sailor, random sailor on a tug that got you out of the
Yeah.
sewers.
Yeah.
Portia Abernathy,
Yeah.
yes. And Old Winthrop and Bill Timber, the subway maintenance guy who died in the service of the Coven.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I think that is all the
Everything you
thralls.
said went right through my ears.
it's
Like
on,
a
it's on
nice
the people
cool
and places
breeze.
tab.
All right.
Yeah, I
And
wasn't
it's in the
paying attention.
keeper.
I was like, Mark just said a bunch of things. There's
They're not our
names and-
responsibilities.
And we might be seeing some of those people soon. Who knows? I took some time and I made a seating chart, so we have a. Oh, you can't see it.
It's
You'll-
just
you'll-
background.
You'll see it when we get there. And we still have 3 threats active, right? We have the last trickle of Fig's pigs. And if you
Which Lewis
if
is
you-
going to take out for us tonight.
if you
Luckily,
wind
we
up
pointed
getting
2 threats at each other.
if you wind up getting your 15th mastermind clue tonight, you will
Oh, no.
not get a 3rd threat in the morning because the last will be Madame Brathwaite. But there's only the complexity 2 one that you solved and need to resolve still by recapturing the child that Lautentia had.
Oh, geez.
Oh gosh.
Find La Hortensia and then capture or destroy her. There's the Artily Crone, which has 2 complexity 4, why did the crone really curse Lewis? And a complexity 6, how can the curse be reversed or removed? And our newest threat,
Or
the Shore
we
Ditch
keep him as a goose.
Slugger, or keep him as a goose.
And I was all ready to
Shortage
solve that
Slugger
question,
has
but we never
a-
did.
Oh,
Has
sorry
a
about
2 complexity,
Oh, yeah.
what is the source of the Shoreditch Slugger's superhuman strength, and a 6th complexity, what is a Shoreditch Slugger's weakness. I'll let you resolve that one.
We're going to take care of it all. Everything
there's that,
tonight.
but-
Done.
Yeah, tonight we'll see.
Easy.
But tonight's a dinner party. Yeah. And you're taking a carriage that was sent by Ms. Brathwaite. And in the carriage when it pulled up was Gerald, what's it?
Oh,
Harley, not Gerald, the other. Gerald's dead, I think.
Gerald's not
Uh,
dead. He's working with
didn't-
Blackwell.
Didn't Gerald get
fine.
dusted? Oh, yeah, that's right. No, it was Lloyd that got
Lloyd.
dusted. Yeah.
Hard to
was
keep
not
track
dead.
of all the people who've died. in our-
No.
I keep track of my grave diggers.
It's a good
Ray
thing,
Brown.
too.
My
Or one of them would have been dead.
My
Blackwell.
response. I keep track of them as they die.
And with each death, Paloma becomes more powerful.
I should make a.
If he was dead, she would know, for she would feel the guilt on her conscience
Always.
of his death.
Always blow back.
Always blow back. But not tonight. Tonight we have Harley and we have. I think you're getting. No, are you no blowback tonight, right? Just Harley, no blowback.
All-
Yeah,
blow
I
forward.
decided. Blow it forward.
Blow it forward. Awesome. So we have a
Just
a
notice
dinner
I still
party.
have busybody, which is going to be delightful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Of
no.
course you do.
Oh
You're not
boy.
gonna
I wonder
stay
if
in
it's a
this-
common thing in the between to get a condition where you're just
You're
like,
like, I like that condition. I'm going to keep
this
it.
is fun.
And Paloma is still most beloved, and Earth still has
Oh, fuck.
Ward of the Void.
Oh,
Which,
yeah, we'll be fine.
And we
Yeah,
don't
that-
really know anything
that's
about
good.
most beloved beyond effects that it has mechanically
yeah,
in the
yeah.
game.
It's
on
just,
us.
yeah,
That's
that's
cool.
all it is.
Like
Nothing
it
magnet.
says on the
Magnet.
tin. She's just she's the most beloved.
Yeah, she's the most beloved. That's all.
Everybody loves her.
Cool. So
Yeah, simple.
the carriage takes the 5 of you, I guess, because Vittorio's with you as well. Driving west outside of the city a bit to Brathwaite Hall, which is an estate on the outskirts of London. And you're kind of chasing the sun as it sets a little bit. But by the time you arrive at the gates of Brathwaite Hall, it is most assuredly nighttime. And now we go to the night phase.
Night phase.
Oh yeah, Unseen. Let's do that.
Oh, right. That's the
Oh
thing.
boy, we've got so many. That we've
I'm gonna be really interested to
done.
see how my beacon in the dark plays in this dinner party.
Yeah, that will not be a problem.
Oh, no, there's a new sheet. Sheet 12. Is that eating chart?
Yeah, it's gonna be the seating chart.
I found it.
Sheet 12. Dun dun dun.
Sheet 12.
Let's do this one. Let's do
party at a
do-
Excel tab.
let's do a
Sorry, we got
night
dis-
at the
we got
Grand Queen
dis-
Hall. Unseen-
Sorry, I think Peter and I are getting distracted, or I'm getting distracted by having a party and your new Excel tab you made for us.
Unseen is on J21 on the Unseen tab. Night at the Grand Queen Hall, the Laboratory of Hallucinations. Every class of people in London is represented. Every class is represented. Yeah, every class of people in London is represented in the audience at the Theatre Grand Queen Hall. They have come to watch a production of the Laboratory of Hallucinations, a story of revenge. Oh yeah, this is gonna be good. Who would like to do the first Unseen? Paint the scene.
Oh man.
As the limelights pop to life and the crimson curtain is raised, what do we see as we scan the stage that tells us this is the story of a mad scientist? Maybe Paloma wants to do this one.
Oh shit! This is my jam. Hold on. What's the name of the play?
The Laboratory of Hallucinations on J21.
Okay, thank you. Because there's a lot of plays.
Yeah.
Kind of like movies where they make movies about movies. Let's see. Paint
like
the
a
scene.
movie.
As the limelights pop to life and the crimson curtain is raised, what do we see as we scan the stage that tells us this is the story of a mad scientist? We just see bolts of lightning go across, like rig across the stage. This might be pre-Tesla, but not in this case. Maybe I have to look about. Anyway, doesn't matter. But the bolts of lightning are done by like ribbon dancer, like quick
Nice.
ribbon dancer things. And then rising, and then smoke is billowing in, being blown from actual like
Billows,
fire,
bellows,
actual
yeah.
smoke and bellows onto the stage. Very dangerous. And rising from a trapdoor is a figure outfitted in a scientist costume of the era. And you hear, finally, my masterpiece is complete.
Yes.
Hallucinations.
Love it.
Amazing.
Provide plenty of silly things for us to run into.
And
So yeah, trapdoor.
Trapdoor. All right.
Ribbon
trapdoor.
dancing.
Ribbon dancers. Electricity.
Cool. So you're at the gate. The gate opens. A pair of servants opens up the gate. They're dressed in sort of like kind of how to describe it. They look adventure-y. They're jaunty. They have like the not puffy shirts, but you know that style with like blue not ribbons, but not cravats. Somewhere blue neck
Ascots? No.
ascots, perhaps. Yeah, some neck accoutrement stuff.
Yeah.
Remember,
Adorable.
Francis, we're not supposed to talk about piracy tonight.
Oh no.
And there's a like a longish path up to the estate itself, which is a largish manor house with fairly extensive grounds. It's dark, so you can't make out everything. There's a row of gas lamps along the way there. As you approach Brathwaite Hall, this is a property that she bought with her mostly ill-gotten gain, but turned into business and then probably also ill-gotten. But this was an edifice that existed long before she arrived. To paint the scene for everyone, I guess. As you approach Brathwaite Hall from the outside, what do you see about the building or the grounds that she has changed to her liking from the previous boring owners?
Got one.
Go for it.
Despite law and culture. Peter's background.
Thank you. I have a T-Rex.
Yes. Yeah, despite the law and culture, she has let her yard go back to native.
Nice.
Which in England, still grasslands, I think, in that area. But it's kind of boggy and grasslandsy and looks like you can immediately see where her property ends and the next person's begins. Kind of got it overgrown, but it looks couture. It looks on purpose.
Nice.
I'm going to say that she has also installed several bronze sculptures, but each of those sculptures looks like you fed a modern AI program generate an animal, and you get something that you're like, what is that? What? What is that called? How would that move? It's just kind of upsetting to look at if you look at it closely.
Nice.
I feel like that complements what I was going to say, which is I think to the casual observer probably wouldn't notice this, but if you look, there's evidence of where there once were topiaries that were cut down and then dug up. And so where they were in patterns are now kind of like patches of grass that don't quite match because it's like obviously been filled in a different time when they dug up and cut down the topiaries and removed them.
Nice.
She hates topiaries, Brathwaite does.
Fucking topiaries.
Like
Cool.
evidently, so yeah.
Yeah,
She
you have
was
to maintain
in
those.
fact a pirate. Yeah, she was the pirate queen of Barbados, I believe it was. Barbuda.
Oh God, if Francis ever finds out about this.
Oh yeah, you all know about this. This was gossip
yeah,
that was
that's one of
dropped
our clues.
earlier on.
If
Yeah.
Francis remembers.
That
Yeah,
he
that's-
knows about this.
Yeah. Cool. And you are the carriage pulls up to the front of the estate, and you are met by a couple of valets who the carriage let you down and bring you inside to the study, I believe, where there are a couple of people that you recognize already in there, and one that I don't know that you've met. The one that captures your attention most, kind of by drawing attention to yourself, by not wanting attention. There is a youngish woman, early 20s, um, not in like a full riding outfit, but she's got the boots and the pants for sure. And she kind of like lounging over the like sideways in an overstuffed chair, kind of just like feet draped over one arm and just like lounging back as if she is completely bored with
Francis approves.
the situation here. And she doesn't turn to acknowledge you, but she kind of gives a almost like an audible eye roll at more people arriving. However, after taking in the new person, there's also another woman who looks maybe familiar, but can't really place her. She kind of looks a little bit like what's her name from The Good Place, the robot, not a robot.
Janet.
Janet, yeah. Kind of looks like her in Victorian clothes, actually. But regaling that woman with some sort of story is a gentleman dressed in a fantastic jeweled white coat, who you immediately recognize as Cyrus Abernathy, with his long-suffering wife, Portia, next to him. And he is telling stories, and the lady is politely
Francis involuntarily starts reaching out towards the white bejeweled suit.
There's Victoria, Paloma, Francis, Seraph, Harley, and two more guests.
So we don't know who Lounging Lady is.
You don't know her, you don't recognize her, but you can imagine you heard stories at Cremore Gardens about Theodora's adopted daughter, Tatty Brathwaite.
Oh, okay.
And you can only imagine that this is her.
Cool.
How do you enter?
Oh, I think Francis just bursts through the door and this is like top of his lungs. Hello, everyone.
And I think you are met by the same
energy. This is kind of our traditional entrance.
Cyrus is like, Francis Quinn, the devil you say. I'm terribly, terribly sorry about the incident at the Queen's. It was entirely my mistake.
Do I know what the incident at the Queen's was?
He knocked you out at the boxing club.
Oh, at the Queen's Fist.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think instantly it's like, I think Francis is like, how could I be upset when it was so exquisitely done? I don't know, and I think he has like, this is so silly, just because I have the stupid comedy points coin from the Blank Check podcast. I think he has a little custom coin from that's minted at the Queen's Fist, like it has an image of a fist on it. This, I believe, is yours, sir.
Graciously accepted. What about Seraph?
Is Loungy Lady is I think Seraph is going to try to approach Loungy Lady and kind of plop down near her and be like, you look like someone after my own ilk.
And she's like hanging off the chair, and so she's looking at you upside down. And she like gives you like, how do you look someone up and down, upside down, down and up? She gives you a quick down and up, and says, "You must be the witch."
The witch, is that unknown?
That's what Mother calls you anyway.
Interesting. What does she call you?
Tatty, which is my name. So how are you enjoying the new residence?
You know, it comes with so much history, so much weight. It's
Oh, you don't look-
dusty.
That much heavier than.
No, psychic weight.
Mm,
Which is why you
How
were such a
fast-
refreshing
mm.
refreshing
How fast can you
breeze.
run in that?
In what?
In that.
Be careful. Last time we got in a running race with a kid. let us can we, let us remember when Francis Quinn tried to race a child and beat the child.
I'm not sure. I haven't tried. In fact, there's many things I have not yet tried in my current form.
I'm sure you'll get a chance.
I certainly hope so.
Paloma. Is Paloma frozen?
I'm not frozen. You're frozen.
um,
I mean, I'm probably frozen to everyone except for me. Also,
Just a little
everyone
bit.
is frozen to me, so
it comes and go. Let it go.
it comes and goes.
Tell me about Paloma's entrance.
Yeah, I feel like typically Paloma, like because of her social anxiety, like is at a door stealing herself up to like figure out something clever to say, and then by then Francis has already burst in.
Mhm.
So the door is open, and Sarah has already kind of made her way in. Francis is immediately glued onto Cyrus, and so Paloma kind of skulks in. And I think Paloma, let's see, who else here? Paloma doesn't want to hang around Harley very long because she doesn't want to have awkward conversations about why his son is dead. Paloma is like super, I mean, Paloma has had a crush on Theodora since she saw her. So
Yeah.
I imagine Paloma is just kind of close enough to kind of, is Theodora there?
Theodora is not there yet. No.
It's not there. Okay. But Hattie is.
Yeah, Teddy.
Hattie. Sorry, and then we have, oh, thank you. Got me, there's Portia, who I never met.
Oh yeah. Oh, didn't you? You met her in the closet.
Oh, Portia. Is Portia the one that took my hair?
Yeah, she's
Damn
the one
it.
that took your hair.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Paloma's like walking in confident, ready for her, like has her first line and is like, pleased to meet your acquaintance. And then it's like, looks up and sees that it's Portia and then just turns around and walks over to the other side of the room and just kind of skulks.
And I think you didn't notice at first, but there's the meme, the office meme of Angela surprising Dwight at a bar. There's kind of that energy going on. And you hear a voice.
I don't know if I've seen this.
Probably it's let's see.
Find it.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a voice that comes from behind you that says, I didn't expect to see you here. And you recognize immediately the voice of Dr. Blackwell,
God damn it.
who is also kind of hiding in a corner.
Yeah, and I think Paloma was all of her venom was at Portia and is like, ah! Oh, I didn't expect to see you here either, Doctor.
Seems that Miss Brathwaite has a flair for the dramatic.
Oh, what makes you say that? That she's late, or that she has an overgrown lawn, or that nothing out there is an animal, or all of the people here hate each other.
The way we left the basement last time we spoke, wasn't expecting to see you for a while. If ever.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Are you
gosh,
here by yourself?
Yeah. As oh, I see why you would think that I was upset with you. And let's just say that things have they say being a mother will remind you of remind you of the love that you've always carried within you. More love than you've ever known you're capable of. And to be honest, I had completely forgotten because I've been so, well, I'm just so happy that Azrael is here.
Azrael's
I-
here.
Oh, I mean, on Earth.
Oh, I was going to say I wouldn't expect you would want to take that out into public.
I wouldn't want to take that out into public. As typically, when one is referring to children, you do use pronouns,
Mm,
not
That
things
is
we
the
would
pronoun,
reserve for
in fact.
objects. But is often reserved for objects and animals.
Well, we all have different
Maybe I am
perspectives.
still not quite pleased with you. Now I remember why I was mad.
And at that there is it's not a gong, but it is a bell of some kind. And Theodora Breathwaite appears at the door to her study with a child next to her, who she has a hand on his shoulder, not protectively, but just familiarly, and just puts and takes her hand off and puts her arms wide and says, "Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you all could make it together here tonight. I am honored and humbled to have you in my home. If you would care to join me in the dining room, dinner will be served promptly." Sarah, I think you recognize the boy. It takes a moment because he's just dressed like a regular boy, 9-ish years old. But after a while, you're like, oh, that's the boy from Cremorne Gardens, the psychic boy, Greco.
I vaguely remember.
Oh, I was worried it was gonna be Pickle.
What was his deal?
He was a little traumatized psychic boy at the on show at the Gardens. He
So hard to keep
rescue
track
him?
of our traumatized.
I think you had the spooky mask marked. Which one? The cosmic passage. And he did some psych shit with you. Maybe at the hospital or near the hospital. I think he was. Oh yeah, he was attacked by the creature, and you went to him at the hospital, and you had a moment of some kind. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
And he kind of like just gives you a curious look and waves a little bit and follows Theodore down the hallway. And everyone kind of looks around as if they're not sure what to do, except for Tati, who just kind of like gets up and half flounces, half trudges down the hallway if that is somehow possible. And
Plum was in love.
and everyone else kind of makes their way down that way. Is there anything you'd like to do before sitting down?
We get to choose our seats, or can there be like a comedy moment where we try to like not sit by people we don't want to sit by?
Oh, you will be sitting by people.
Okay.
In fact, let me
Yeah, I
copy
see that.
a little better way here. Boom. So let's see. At the can I speak while I'm doing this? We'll see.
I can
Sure.
I can move the things over.
Okay, cool. When you arrive in the dining room, if you are you going to do anything before going to the dining room, or are you just going to head straight that way?
I can't
was hoping
imagine
to, but I don't
Francis
think it's going to
is
happen.
motivated to.
Cool. When you arrive there, Theodora is standing by the head of the table, farthest from the door, and the Janet-looking lady is already seated at the other end of the table. The seating arrangement is to Theodora's right, down the table, Francis, Greco, Sereth, Harley, and Dr. Blackwell. On her left is Cyrus, Vittorio, Portia, Paloma, and Tati. So Paloma is kind of across from Dr. Blackwell. Sereth and Francis are across from Vittorio, who's between the Abernathys. Greco is awkwardly between Francis and Sereth. Harley is equally awkwardly between Sereth and Dr. Blackwell, and Tati is already sitting down and playing with her silverware.
And who's
Mostly
Greco again?
mostly the knives. Greco is the psychic boy.
The second one.
I think Francis, if there's any sort of like, I don't know, like kind of covered display thing, he'll probably remark on whatever little bits of crystal or statuary are there in a complimentary way.
Nice. Yeah, and there's little silver and sapphire, not gem, but color, name tags for everyone. So everyone has a seat, and yeah, there's a moment when Theodora kind of looks up and down the table at everyone, not expectantly, but just to sort of, she has a slight smile playing on her face, kind of a little bit amused at herself by all the people who are here. And a servant comes over her left shoulder and pours her a glass of wine into a bluish crystal glass in front of her, and she raises a toast first to the woman down the table from her, and says, I would like to introduce everyone to my recent friend. I have her full name somewhere. I just wrote down Lady Susan. Her name is illegible. Her name is Lady Susan Vane Tempest, and we have become quite close acquaintances over the past few months, haven't we? And glasses have been filled across the table, and Lady Susan just, Lady Susan, ugh.
Yeah.
that's gonna be fun. Raises a glass to her, and Theodora says, and to all of my guests, to an entertaining evening. And takes a drink.
I liked it, Lady Illegible, personally.
Lady Illegible.
Sounds like a period name.
Okay,
Lady
good.
Susan Illegible.
Such a preferred name.
Lady Susan
Ken.
Vane Tempest, who is a real person, it turns out. Cool. Anything you would like to, any actions you are taking before dinner is served?
Let's see here.
Okay.
Flip the table.
I need some help here.
Let's see. I think Francis just reflexively offers just effusive thanks to Theodora. Yeah, I think whatever mistrust that anybody might have of Theodora at this point is gone from Francis, because it's like, oh, gracious host.
And thank you so much for coming, Mr. Quinn. I've waited a long time to meet you. Maybe not as long as one would expect.
He has no idea what's being said to him, and just blink, blink, blink. Of course.
And I see that, again, I'm looking at thralls. There's 1,
Oh no, Portia is a thrall, right?
Portia's a thrall, and
Victoria is a thrall.
Victoria's a thrall. And I think that's it for-
Nice.
Oh, I was gonna have
We won dinner.
no, yep. And thank you for spending extended social time in the presence of your servants.
I think he's still just gonna blink. Well, I'm sure. Yeah, he agrees to it without really knowing what's being said.
Oh, Harley's family.
Of course, Dr. Sappy, she kind of like yells down the table a little bit. I know that both you and Dr. Blackwell know Harley quite well.
Did you say that again?
I know that you and Dr. Blackwell are quite familiar with our friend Harley here, Mr. White.
I mean, like, we know. Yes. Loma's like really bad with indirect stuff.
I think Francis
He's
is
like-
gonna, being a busybody, is going to say, like,
Yes.
of course, at Hargrave House, all manner of people come our way, and we make friends all across the city. Harley is, of course, a fine gentleman of Paloma's acquaintance.
And
I think
you
Paloma's
hear-
like, I don't sleep with him. Maybe Blackwell does. I don't know. But in her
and
head,
since,
and she's trying to be like,
Paloma's right across from Harley, and you're right next to Toddy, and you can hear her kind of mutter under her breath, like grave robber. And I'm not sure if it's directed to you or Dr. Blackwell, who's across from her, or Harley. But this is kind of seething in the general area.
Patty says this?
She is in
Teddy, yeah.
grave robber's
Wow.
corner, sort of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's been surrounded by the. Oh yeah, that'll be fun. What about
Yes.
Sarah? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Could I say like I think I might pretend not to hear Taddy and then be like and turn very loudly. Who's to my left or right?
To your left is Toddy. To your right is Portia.
I'm gonna turn very loudly to Portia, who I'm not actually talking with, but talking at, so that Taddy can hear me. And just say, "Yeah, Harley's not really what someone you would want to upset. We all end up in Harley's hands eventually." And then Portia tries to answer, and then Paloma turns back away, refusing to talk to her. Paloma has
Portia-
one smooth moment, and that is where it was.
Portia's
Now it's
face
been spent.
lights up a little bit when you talk.
blow
to her,
back.
too.
No,
But
no blowback.
Portia's face lights up a little bit when you talk to her, and then drops a little bit. when you turn away.
Aw.
And when you turn back, again, you can hear Toddy kind of mutter under her breath, "Some of us sooner rather than later," or no, some of you sooner rather than later. Sarah, any? Your Harley's on your left, Greco's on your no, Harley's on your right, Greco's on your left, Portia's across from you.
Oh. Oh, sorry. Oh no.
I don't know. I have no. Sarah's in a weird place tonight, huh? Well, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm not gonna question it. As random as it may be. Could be bad for so many reasons, but I sort of feel like because of the way things are seated, underneath the table, Sarah's foot is going to come to rest lightly against Portia's leg as sort of a probing, like, it could be an accident, could not,
Yeah.
but it's not withdrawn. I don't like, oh, so, let's see what happens if, foot rests upon calf under the table.
What are you afraid might happen if she takes this? the
She
wrong
might
way?
think it's Paloma.
um,
That's what Paloma's afraid of. just so that we
Well,
know.
this is really boring, but my gut answer is just that, like, that she'll, pull away and be like, no, pardon me, whatever. And then the moment's gone. That's not what Sarah is hoping for.
Yeah, worse than that, she will make a public scene about it,
Of course.
which will not be taken well by the others. Not a playful, delightful scene, but this is going to be a bad night scene. Gosh, what kind of role is that? That's going to be a night move with. It's going to be presence. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all right.
That's 2 dice plus 1, unless you want to bring in one of your creepy items.
I was looking at, and again, I try very much not to metagame by like just forcing an item into a situation if it's like there's nothing really applicable, which I really don't think there is.
All right.
I mean, I'm sure I could get creative if I wanted to, but it would feel forced.
Let's see, 2 dice plus 1 then.
Sure, you don't want a cowboy hat?
So yeah, just a straight up presence roll.
At least Jenny's not here.
Hey, look at that!
At least it's not
Wow.
Jenny and Vicky.
I'm very present tonight with an 11.
Yeah. So Portia looks surprised for a moment and then looks across the table at you and just smiles and reciprocates.
Proof that
no
Sarah's
idea.
a woman's body, but the giggling of a man flirting.
Does Francis know about Theodora buying up St. James's Place?
Yes, I believe she told you that at the threshold of St. James's Place.
I think Francis is going to hit on that as a topic of conversation.
I love it.
Theodora,
yeah.
dear Theodora, how, if I may call you that, how are things proceeding with St. James Place? I'm so eager to hear what that home shall be like once it's given a little bit of love. Our apologies, of course, for the damages there, but all part of Hargrave business, I'm afraid.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with Hargrave business. Francis, if I may call you that in return. I'd almost forgotten the property at St. James's Place. I've had some men doing repairs on it, and it will be sold at a significant profit. I believe it's a upcoming neighborhood, and
Oh, impressive.
and nothing sells more than an intriguing story, wouldn't you say?
Ooh. That has been my experience as well. Glad to hear that has worked out well for you.
I think as when she says intriguing story, Cyrus, who's sitting across from you, says, I have an intriguing story, and starts.
He doesn't ask about the story, but
Yeah.
Please
And just
tell me
starts-
it's about this outfit.
Yeah, rattling off something inane as we go to the next unseen.
Oh, right, the unseen is the thing.
Who would like to do the second part?
Oh, I had a hit on that if I could grab it.
Yeah, that is describe Act 1, in which a mad scientist discovers his wife is having an affair with another man.
Yeah, and I think, okay. Yeah, so I think this is the scene where the wife is entering the laboratory, and there's a man on stage, but he's surrounded by the ribbon dancers. So it's kind of this whirling mass of ribbons, basically. I think she's sneaking in. I'm not sure why, for plot reasons, but as soon as she sees this entity, she's transfixed and says something along the lines of, I knew he had summoned this creature, but I didn't know it would be so beautiful. And she tentatively like tiptoes closer and closer to it down the stairs, reaches out a hand, yeah, I think she's probably engulfed by this.
Nice.
And yeah, this is indicated to the audience that it's pleasurable for her, but it's still staying, even Grand Guignol staying within the strict, we can't say that she is into this sexually as explicitly as we could in other times. And yeah, and I think and the scientist is elsewhere on stage, separated by blackness. He's sort of in his own godlight. And we just see his eyes open before the end of the scene.
Nice. The first course has come out. I think Francis is in a good position to tell us what the course is.
Oh God, I mean, Francis, maybe I'm what would be what are the courses of a Victorian meal? Sorry,
By
that
a
would be
previous pirate foods.
Victorian. Oh, okay, here we go.
Seaweed.
Dinner was the most elaborate: soup, roast meats, pudding, and sweets. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna say that this is a yeah, okay. I'm gonna assume shrimp are a thing here.
Yeah, I'd say that.
And
Get
so
excited.
everyone gets a little plate of shrimp arranged around a small tureen of sauce.
Beetlejuice style.
Yep, and then there's sorry, what did you say?
Beetlejuice style.
Oh God, I haven't seen the movie recent enough to know. Although we could say it's hinting at the ribbon dancers from the night. And there's of course also the same sauce drizzled artistically around the edge of the plate. And then there are small bowls of soup. I think this is a cold vegetable soup. Do we know what time of year this is?
We usually place at around the real time year, so
okay.
fall. Yeah.
Okay, so it's some sort of butternut squash thing, like with
Nice.
that palette of spices and stuff like that. Yeah. So that is the
Nice.
first course. Butternut squash and shrimp probably don't go together at all. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I do wonder if it's sort of a motif of this is artistically done and artistically presented, but somebody in the staff just doesn't get food in a human sort of way.
And maybe it's based on color, because those are like orange and pink. And
Complementary in a way.
Yeah.
Making Francis very conflicted. It's like, oh, it looks amazing.
Presentation, A+.
Tastes
Amazing.
good. These things should not be together.
And yeah, Theodora turns to her left, I believe. No, right.
Oh, no.
To speak with you, and
Oh, no.
asks you how you find the course.
Oh, well, I do think this is a situation where Francis is, I think he's kind of adept enough here to respond with the positives and just say, you outdo yourself, or you working with your staff, I must know the chef. Because
of course. And she claps her hands, and almost she's like a little bit doesn't do the little dance, but you can see it in her face. And from the side door to the kitchen, or to the kitchens, which is across from you, out comes the chef, who is dressed plainly. And
He's been waiting for a special clap all night.
Oh no.
Oh.
Like all year.
And you immediately share a look of recognition, because it is Miss Irma Thicket from St. James Place.
Oh, okay.
Who Theodore has hired on, and who is also a thrall of yours.
Yeah. I think Francis is not putting together anything sinister from this. It's just like, oh, Irma. everyone, we have I don't know if he remembers all the details of her being taken over by dark entities trying to kill them.
Oh, right,
stab, all
yeah.
that stuff. But that was all supernatural. This is just Irma. Irma,
We
it's
have-
delightful to see that you have found such a great home here and such a great use of your services. This collection of old world gourds is amazing. I do believe you have used the sort of spice profile that would be the envy of an emperor.
Hmm.
Everyone,
Overstock.
round of applause for Irma Thicket. Or just ding, 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 dings the side of his glass and encourages everyone else to do the same.
She says, "Thank you, sir. It's an honor." She steps into the candle light
Oh, no.
between Cyrus and Vittorio. She looks older. Maybe it's
no.
just you haven't seen her in a while.
Aw.
But she kind of nods a little bit and says, "It's Mrs. Beale."
Oh, okay. So she's married the ex-proprietor of.
Yes, he insisted.
Oh, and I don't think I think Francis is just like instantly like mouth agape, like, oh, like he makes that noise.
I don't have him on
Yeah.
the list here. Beale. Was it Charles?
Charles.
No, that's St. Charles. What was his name? Let me look it up. He's not on the people and places sheet for some reason.
No,
He
He
doesn't exist. He was a figment of your
Harold
imagination.
Beale.
Harold Beale.
And so, yeah.
Uh,
And so Irma Thicket is now Irma Beale.
Irma has married the estimable is now Mrs. Harold Beale. You have married an estimable gentleman who is moving up considerably in the world.
Well, I wouldn't say that, sir. He's a terrible businessman, but an excellent assistant in the kitchen.
Oh, perfect. I must say that your teamwork has blessed us with a wonderful repast. I cannot wait for the remaining courses.
I will get those to you as soon as you are done, sir.
Of course. Give my regards to Harold. Being so
yes.
familiar with the staff that Theodore is how to mention.
And Theodore is delighted by this exchange.
Aw.
And while this is happening, yeah, Cyrus has leaned over to Vittorio and has whispered something while this has been going on, has been kind of conspiratorially whispering, and he turns to Theodora and says, if you wouldn't mind too much, if this doesn't disrupt your plans, would it be possible for Mr. Clemenza and I to switch places? And Theodora, of course, is like, oh, absolutely. If you'd prefer to sit by your wife, my blessings. And so they do guild dance, and they're not sure whether the servants try to take their plates, and Vittorio's like, and they get swapped around as she leaves. And after a few minutes of Vittorio kind of poking at his kind of like delicately kind of not vivisecting, but kind of opening, like doing a little bit of exploratory surgery on his shrimp. Cyrus looks across the table with a sly smile to Seraph, and Seraph feels a second foot in her leg.
So from what I can feel, is this like in conjunction with his wife, or is two separate things going on here?
Yeah, in conjunction.
Okay, so
Okay,
two
so
legs.
Vittorio and Cyrus have switched.
Victoria and Cyrus have switched. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm trying
I'll
there.
update that.
I'll just smile and run my other foot up his leg.
Oh,
Didn't
who's
go to
leg
5
now?
years of mad scientist school to be called
Got
Miss.
one foot on Portia and one foot on Cyrus.
Oh, on Cyrus.
Slowly
Okay.
sliding down.
Almost just
Um,
trying to survive the center.
What's wrong with
Sarah's
that?
over there
Nothing?
trying to thrive.
So Lady Van Tempest is attempting to engage Paloma in actually she's kind of volleying questions between Paloma and Dr. Blackwell, kind
Right.
of asking that she isn't well acquainted with the sciences or medicine, and has it's just like, oh, so you're a doctor, both of you, neither of you are practicing doctors at the moment though. Does that, you're still a doctor? I mean, I assume if I were no longer, I mean, I am no longer married, my husband passed several years ago, but I'm still Lady Van Tempest, so I assume you're both still, it's proper to still call you both doctors, isn't it not? What kind of practice do you do now?
Oh, I am not practicing in the traditional sense, but I am always learning and always experimenting. And I guess I would say that lately my interest, I had been mostly a generalist and internal medicine person, but I have since been mostly interested in life itself, kind of the
Oh.
bigger picture questions of what does it mean to die and what does it mean to live?
She turns to Dr. Blackwell and says, "What does it mean to die and to live?" And
You're gonna you have to have a conversation with yourself now as the NPCs.
Blackwell kind of like gives a smug look to Paloma, and she sounds like, to a non-scientist, like it's one of those kind of roundabout answers that doesn't really say anything. Paloma knows that this is content free, but Lady Susan is just eating it up, and
lot of
turns back to you
jargon.
and is like, "Oh, that is extremely fascinating and insightful, don't you think so, Dr. Safby?"
Yeah, okay. I know what Ploma's gonna do. And Ploma's like, Dr. Blackwell is being much too modest. Dr. Blackwell has made amazing strides in breakthroughs that might one day lengthen life, might one day defy death itself.
Dr. Blackwell says, "Oh, you're too kind. This is I have come, my research has hit so many dead ends. I feel like I should be living in an alley." And kind of like looks over to Harley and kind of smiles and then loses it when she
Aw.
realizes he's not laughing. And
Oh, I live in Ollie.
and I think Harley's in a
Perfectly good
tuxedo.
alley.
He's like, everyone is dressed nicely for a nice dinner, but I think Harley is a little bit overdressed, as if someone dressed him. And he looks like he doesn't really know why he's there yet, and is just kind of like playing, like he's usually kind of salty and gruff and whatever, and he's like playing it super safe and super close to it, like he doesn't want to do anything wrong right now. He's kind of like looks with like kind of pleading eyes to you, Paloma, like, what should I do next?
Oh no, and Francis is all the way at the other end of the table. I do it totally.
And I think Paloma sees this, and Paloma is mortified that Harley is blaming her for the death of Henry or Harold or
Henry,
what
I
is
think
his
it was,
son's name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Henry. And
dead
is
boy.
and it first was worried about that coming up, and now is remembering, oh, class exists. and leans over to Harley and goes, play along. And says, well, I mean, really the true experts on death are those that handle our dead. And there is no other more expert here than Mr. Harley. If I were to drop dead at this very dinner party, that's who I would want to be handling me.
And I think there's a shitty comment from Teddy as you're saying that about how there's definitely someone here who knows how to handle the dead better than that peasant.
I mean, Paloma's just like overly complimenting other people to draw attention away from herself, and it's working. And she really likes it because she's seen Francis do this and was like, "Oh, this is how it works."
What are you afraid might happen if attention
Years of
is drawn
analysis.
back to you?
No, I didn't mean to tell you that. Yeah, I think Paloma like really just. I think Paloma's trying to just survive because Paloma doesn't do well at parties, and is playing a really offensive game this time because usually she goes too direct. But I think there's something to do with Azriel. I think she's afraid. I think she's also like as a mother trying to deflect attention from herself because she doesn't want Azriel mentioned. She doesn't want you to keep his name out of your fucking mouth. And is like protecting him and is like, I don't really want anyone to know about him and talk about him or she's protecting him.
Worse than that,
No,
Azriel will show up
as a goose.
Uninvited.
Yeah,
to the
I am
party.
worried that I am worried.
He followed
I've
you. Yeah.
been thinking about that of like he probably has every intention of showing up.
I'm gonna throw in that like I was thinking of offering gentlemen social auxiliary. I could do that. I'm kind of intrigued by the child showing up though. So
I am too. I mean, like, part of me is like, part of me was like, this feels like something that would happen. Of like, Paloma is actually also worried that he will show up. They had an argument before she left,
no.
where he was like, "I'm not a baby." She's like, "Well, you are."
You're like a week old.
You were born yesterday.
Despite your advanced intelligence, you were very precious to me, and I think we were going into a lion's den.
Do you think this is composure, keeping it together, or presence, kind of like managing?
It'd be really cool if it was composure, but
Yeah, you could argue that. Then.
What do you feel like it is?
I think that this is composure because I don't think she's trying to be like necessarily smooth, and she's not really afraid of, because it is so like, I'm going to hold my ground and I'm not going to let shit bother me. And part of how I'm doing that is over complimenting people
Cool.
that are probably mad at me.
So that's 2 dice plus 2. Unless you want to use something.
Let's see what I got. I got so much shit. I should use it.
You got
Oh, I have
got-
Harley's
boy,
pocket watch.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
That feels weird to give back to him right now. Because I have that because of his dead son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like a
Okay.
good time.
All right. 2 dice plus 2 then.
I do have a mausoleum key though.
You have what? Oh, monthly.
Ah,
You got a
let's
cowboy
just do
hat.
2 plus
And
2.
a cutoff date.
Always the cowboy
I
hat.
pull out a cowboy hat and I put it on my head and I'm like, okay, don't mess with me.
Or later.
Howdy, partner. Nobody needs to pay attention to me.
Paloma, who's Paloma?
A third personality
Ah,
emerges.
shit.
Oh no.
I
Oh.
rolled a 1 and a 2. Plus 2 is a 5. I put that cowboy hat on, figured it out. But I didn't.
So I think as like the conversation, like it's batting around, kind of like, oh no, you, no, you, no, you. Dr. Blackwell just, or actually, no, not Dr. Blackwell, Toddy actually speaks up and says, kind of like someone's like, oh no, you, no, you're the best. And Toddy just speaks up and says, how do you feel bringing something like that to life? It's not human. And she kind of like catches your eye and looks to the window across the table, and you see a head go down from the window. And when she says that, everyone at the table turns and swivels and pays attention to you.
Heritage
You
by
can use an ask
voyeurism.
if you want, but
To keep my child from being there? Sorry, I'm having some internet problems. So she was shit talking,
yeah, she has brought up Asriel and said,
and he shows up.
and he's like, oh no, that's me.
And did everyone see that he was there, or they
I
just
don't.
heard her
I think
shit talking?
Toddy's the only one that saw him, but everyone else is focused on you now. That Toddy has brought up that you indeed have brought something to life that you put together.
Sereth jumping.
And I think Paloma is so distracted and is like, I think I forgot something in the carriage.
Oh no.
Amazing.
I forgot that we had brought gifts. Francis insisted. I must
yes.
Yeah, I must go retrieve those.
Theodore's like,
thank
oh
you
no, we have
so much.
servants for that. Just I'll send some.
no.
And
men
I'm
to the
already
church and bring
walking
them."
out the door.
I understand. Some gifts are so personal that they really must be handled oneself. Staff are amazing, but can't be trusted with everything.
I'm so happy that Francis is playing along and isn't
Yeah.
like, we didn't.
Oh
bring
yes, of course, the
anything.
gifts.
and like
He told
a
me
few-
not to bring gifts.
I think within like 5 to 10 seconds, he's like, yes, we brought gifts. That's just settled in as his new reality.
Yeah. And Paloma's like, fuck, I have to find something in the carriage that can be a gift now.
Cowboy hat.
Here's all my things.
Cowboy, here's a cowboy hat and a glass eye, mausoleum key. Harley, here's your pocket watch. I probably have enough items I could give everyone an item.
No.
Here's a cut off face, a skeleton child hand, a tentacle. I can give my medical text to everyone and it never runs out.
How is Sereth reacting to all this?
Sort of feel like Sarah's instinct, because Hargrave, kind of like same as Francis, Hargrave House only sticks together, is sort of to just politely look at Tati and go like,
Oh, no.
perhaps your definition of human is too narrow. I mean, what's next? Are you going to start determining that some humans are better than other humans and certain
Ooh.
types of humans are better than other types of humans? Where do we draw the line with this delineation and this? There's all kinds of life in the world, and perhaps it all deserves being explored.
Some people are better than others.
Hmm.
Why would you even say something like that? Look where you are. Do you think the mother would have people who weren't worthwhile here?
Well, worthwhile is a subjective concept.
I disagree. I believe one's worth can be objectively proven in several ways.
Hmm.
Perhaps someday you'll prove your worth to me.
I'd love to have the chance.
And she the most like satisfied, sinister smile just like creeps too far across her face. She's like, all right. right.
Luckily, Paloma is not here to see this. Or
Great. Let's do. Do we want to take a break? What time is it?
9:20.
Yeah. Do we want to take 5?
Yeah, that probably be good.
Cool. We'll
Yeah.
do the unsig when we come back. Cool.
We're
Let's
talking
do
to my
5.
child.
Eat a cookie.
Nom, 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 nom.
Second. Oh, camera's in.
Okay.
These fancy glasses.
What the hell?
Get back down there. Get the other window.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go do that to Peter. It'll be a while. Long time to get to Canada.
Everyone switch places. What are everyone's?
Man, hey, remember when I used to be a dude who looked like Gary Oldman? That seems like a long time ago now.
Now we've got a
But-
monster that looks like Gary Oldman.
I was gonna say, but my head lives on a Frankenstein child.
Gary
Gary
never
Oldman
dies.
really has a lot of range.
So really, we saw my old head popping up over the window is what we saw.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
true.
Hey, that's my head.
It's true because Theodora's only met you as Sereth, or did she think she met you once as Gareth, right? Or she saw was probably
If she hasn't met
peekabooing
you,
at
she
us.
knows all of you. Yeah.
That's
I
our fucked up
think it
story.
is Heath's go
Oh,
at
yeah.
the unseen. Describe Act 2, in which the mad scientist kidnaps his wife lover and uses an experimental technique to take over his mind. Let me double check the safety tab. Mind control is a ask first. Is that okay with everyone, or should we move it around a little bit?
I think I'm okay on this one. Yeah.
I'm good. I don't have anything crazy sinister planned. So wait, I want to make sure. So in Peter's chapter,
In Peter's chapter,
we determined
was-
her lover
Last week
was,
on
was,
the unseen.
was the entity thing that
Yeah.
like, Mad Scientist
Yeah.
had summoned an entity, and she was kind of falling for the entity thing, right?
yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I was clear on that. So,
So where
didn't want to
kidnaps
rip
is-
apart the unseen continuity.
Yeah.
So yes, now it's later on in the play. It's getting late in the play when it's second act, and he has the entity now. It's manifest. It's a physical thing now, so it's not like light and everything. And it's shackled on like an upright table, like you'd have as a mad scientist that you can swivel down if you need to go up and catch lightning from your roof or whatever you do. And it's got a little band around his head as well as being shackled to the table, and he's like, yes, and I should have foreseen it when summoning an entity to have all the strengths where my weaknesses were, selfishly to help me achieve my goals. How would I not see, of course, that in the same way that I look up to you for having all the things that I do not possess, that my wife would see the same thing and just see how it accentuates all of my weaknesses and my shortcomings and my foibles. I was a fool with my ambitions, but it all works out in the end. It all happens for a reason, because now, you see, we shall swap, and I will go in there, and I will have control of this body, and she will love me like never before. And you, I'm afraid, will be trapped in this body, which I have dosed with a drug that shall leave you quite paralyzed and unable to speak. We'll attribute it to a lab accident. And the good doctor shall be mourned by all, while his lab assistant lives happily ever after with his former wife. Big switch, big switch.
Jacob's ladder.
Big switch, Jacob's ladders, plasma balls.
Amazing.
Yes.
I love that.
This play is so good. This is better than the she had it coming. She had it coming one. which I forgot the real title of. Good for her.
Good for
Good for
her.
her.
She had it coming.
And you know that there's gonna be people in there who have to see all the Grand Guignol shows for the awards that come at the end of the year.
Yeah, the award ceremony.
Awesome. Dinner has continued with the same energy for a bit. I think I want to hear what Paloma is doing outside while everyone's enjoying their second course.
I think Paloma steps outside and is just like, are you satisfied with yourself?
Yeah, I guess Ezreal's like sitting
Like
up
hiding
against
in a
the
bush.
wall.
Yeah.
He's like up against the wall, just like he knew you would come out.
Well,
I'm sorry. What was your question?
and I think this time, and I think she's also going to say, well, and holds out her hand. Might as well come inside. There's some terrible food being served. We're going to have to put to use all of those manners that Francis taught you. But it would be rather nice to have you inside.
And he looks like as if he was expecting an argument and just like lights up.
I think Paloma's like coming out and about to be mad at him, but then sees him and is like, oh gosh, someone I actually want to see.
Sad Gary Oldman. Happy Gary Oldman.
Yeah, and then is like, no, come sit on my lap. Let's fucking show them.
I love that.
Show them what humanity can mean.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have that? Do you have that show? Oh yeah. Show
Oh yeah, I have to show physical affection to my child.
teach the child a lesson about what it means to be human. Yeah.
Oh,
That's not what I have to do today.
how
Um,
convenient.
You have to do that every day.
Do I?
Sereth. Yeah, that's a permanent checked question.
Permanent. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so annoying. Is that what parenting is like?
It's just an extra
already taught-
opportunity to get experience.
I did that during the daytime when I said I was wrong. I already said I was wrong one time today. This is why I'm childless.
Sereth,
As a
there is a
player.
lot of energy going back and forth across the table on your side there. How do the dark entities that follow you manifest because of this to you?
Rhythm dancers.
I sort of feel like my gut's telling me if this is indeed what you're asking, that I'm so naturally imbued with power and with the relationships that while I can purposely do things like rituals and harvest, I do feel like sometimes it's just an extension of myself that I don't even realize is happening. So like, especially in a situation like this where I know I'm playing footsie under the table, but it can't. I don't actually see anything, so it's all just by feel and everything. And so I, from my aspect, I think it just feels very natural. But I think from them, it starts feeling very supernatural in a way, like those sensations encroaching upward in not in ways like that. Well, that's not like the foot can't be doing that, but in a good way where you're almost like, but it also feels really nice. So it's a bit confusing where you're like, I'm not sure what's happening, but I don't really care either because it's good.
And I think Cyrus sort of like takes a breath and leans across the table, like a little bit stage whispery, like everyone else can hear. And he kind of like fixes his gaze with you and says, I know you've been touched by the void, but this is different. I haven't felt this before. Have you ever considered joining the society? I'm sure Francis has talked about it across the table.
And so I'm aware of what he's talking about, right?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
you know about the like
Yeah.
Society Obscura. He's like, we have been making some remarkable progress.
I would certainly be interested in exploring this offer further. You must understand, I did have a very negative experience with another
Periwinkle. Yes, he told us
group.
all
Another,
about it.
no, no,
Oh, no, no.
another group entirely.
Periwinkle was
Which
quite taken. Well, I was going to say it wasn't a negative experience
no,
at
no, no.
all.
That's fine. I meant no another. I was previously part of another group, shall we say, that ended up being not a good experience and not good people, and it did make me hard.
Switch bodies. Yes.
That's no, well, that wasn't what I was referring to either. I made it hard to trust organizations. Made me very much look out for myself with my few friends here from Hargrave. But I am open to exploring and just. I guess what I'm saying is please be patient with me. It will take a while for me to trust and know that something would be in my best interests and doesn't have more untoward purposes not in alignment with my own.
Of course. I assure you that our intentions are aligned. And if everything goes as planned, we will have all the time in the world to explore each other.
We
Theodore's
definitely continue this conversation.
told us all about your the coven and your experiences with it. She has quite a network of informants throughout the city. Very well acquainted with and like fixes Francis and looks down the table at Paloma, or where Paloma would be sitting. Very well acquainted with many of your activities. In fact, and he stops and looks down at Theodora, and she kind of like picks up, like the course is finished, and she's kind of been like listening, and she says, "No, it's time." And she puts her, Francis is sitting on her right, I believe, puts her hand on Francis's hand on the table, and looks over at him and says, "Francis, dear Francis, you seem to be the most level-headed amongst your peers here.
Well, one does not try to brag, but
the by all appearances, and from what I know of you, the apparent leader of Hargrave currently."
I couldn't take that mantle of responsibility on myself. But
No, it may be given to you, however, by others, knowingly or not. So I broach this with you, my friend, Lady Susan.
Lady Susan illegible.
And I also have a shared interest that we cannot carry out ourselves. And
I think
she
Francis
goes,
assumes this is about sex. And it's just like, I understand you perfectly. And he just kind of steeples it. I'll be giving it some thought here.
and she goes to put her hand on Cyrus's hand, but he has switched places, and she's like,
So instead,
shouldn't
Vittorio.
have. But she does, and she like gives Vittorio a knowing look, and says, "Although I have many resources at my disposal, I cannot do this alone," which is why the Abernethys have so graciously been working on the mechanical side of things, while the rest of us plan. And I've been following Hargrave House for quite some time.
Oh,
Quite
we
some
have a
time.
fan.
Oh, you have several.
We should set up a broadsheet for our adventures for these people. Well,
Tell
it's
me.
always glad to hear that there are people who are enthusiastic about our work. We shall tell you about the pugilist we are tracking down shortly, but it seems as though you have something to bring to the proverbial and literal table, so by all means.
I know that although your Not appearance. The demeanor that you present is entertaining. That you are, in fact, wise beyond your years. And
Francis is
Sarah?
just blinking at this point.
I know that your desires are perhaps not fitted to our current society that we find ourselves in. I'm unsure, which is why I brought all of you here tonight. I would wait for Dr. Safby, but
Oh no.
it appears the moment is upon us.
Sappy beating on the window. Let me in. Locked out.
I have a project, and I know you are no stranger to the unpleasant side of the kind of work that you do, that we do. But I assure you, although some might consider this tantamount to murder, it is both better and worse. So I ask you, will you not necessarily join me in this endeavor,
Of course.
but will
more of
you
an
allow me
organizational capacity?
to proceed without interference? For I know that you're often approached to solve problems that others cannot solve. And I fear that my project might be seen by those in power as one of those things.
I'm sure whatever you and Lady Susan are involved with shouldn't need my. I mean, I'd be happy to help, but if this is how we're putting it, I'm not going to interfere. That would just be unseemly.
And I think this is the point where Paloma and Azriel come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were walking side by side and Paloma then scoops him up and carries him over to her seat and sits him on her lap.
And I think
Paloma.
everyone,
Look who's here.
I think everyone except for Theodora has visible reactions to what is happening here.
And that's why and Paloma doesn't like to take him out because she is like, people are not going to be kind to you. They're not going to see you for what you are. And that's not fair.
Yeah,
And so
Cyrus
she
and
often is
Portia like
protective of him in that way.
almost like don't faint, but like they physically disturbed and flustered. And Portia, especially like when you sit back down next to her with Azriel, like scoots, like she like looks to Theodora like with a horrified look on her face and tries to scoot a little bit. And Theodora's like,
Yeah, and I think Paloma like hugs him tighter and is like kisses him on the head and is like, "This is what I talked about. They won't understand you." I love
Dr.
you.
Blackwell looks at you with a combination of horror and envy. More horror that you would actually
Jealousy.
bring him. She's like, oh, and she like tries to catch Azriel's eye, and Azriel's not acknowledging her at all.
Oh, dang.
Harley has seen all of these parts before.
Oh yeah. Oh, Harley. Oh.
And his reaction is mostly like, I thought we were gonna be cool here. I thought we were keeping it on the low. Oh God. Oh Jesus Christ. I think Rico actually doesn't have a strong reaction. He looks up to
Yeah.
Seraph and
Trauma baby.
for a little. Lady Susan is white or with
Oh, this is the
Yeah.
best.
She's, ah.
Paloma just turned
Um,
this into a punk rock dinner party.
Oh man, and I think Francis is like waiting for that pause, and then just says, "Bing." Ladies and gentlemen, let me present. Is it Azrael? Young Master Azrael, our newest addition to Hargrave. Say
And
hello, young sir.
Theodore stands up and says, well, this is unacceptable.
No.
Elmore, please bring our guest a chair.
Oh no, we have to change the seating.
Such a handsome young boy.
Do you want Azrael sitting between you and Portia or you and Tatty?
Fuck.
Or across the table between Harley and Dr. Blackwell?
Just in the, like, I want him in my lap, but I know that Theodore is not going to let me do that. And I think I know Portia is dangerous, so I put him in between me and Tati, even though that's probably a worse idea.
Yeah. Tatty is fascinated. And
I'm just like, fuck you, Portia.
And I think like her strong reaction is she doesn't ask. She just starts touching Azrael, especially along the seams.
It's not cool.
And like kind of like looking at where she's touching and catching his eye, and he's like,
Excuse you.
I'm into this. This is okay.
Azrael and I have talked about the importance of consent. As much as he has to ask me if I would like a hug, you have to do the same to him.
Him.
Sometimes.
I mean, does that mean I can touch Tatty if I want to?
No,
can
we're
try.
trying to. We're asking first.
Right.
And she like stabs a
sex
knife
party.
into the table. Says, you could try. This is mahogany.
Man,
Boing.
just trying to max out how much everyone around her is turned on, I guess.
Yeah,
Because I think Paloma was having the hots for her and is now like, you touch my baby.
Oh, right. Yeah.
and I think Tatty says something along the lines of like, I'm not sure if you are less than human or more than any of us.
And I'm not sure you're the one to judge. Yep.
And that like
could say it.
Smile comes across her face again.
What's the worst that could happen? Go ahead, Mark. Fucking Paloma mouth.
I think I know what's gonna happen. So
Idiot.
Reminder, I do have a beacon in dark move.
oh yeah. You can
I'm
use
that
gonna
at
put
any
this
night.
cowboy hat on my head.
And if you need to take a presence roll, I can come in with Monet's paintbrush.
If she pushes me far enough, I can use Mother's Love. Monet's paintbrush.
So Theodora, after like calming everyone down a little bit, there's some between course aperitifs to maybe settle everyone's nerves a little bit. She addresses Paloma with the same, basically saying the same thing. She wants everyone to be in agreement that Hargrave House will allow her to operate with impunity, no matter how awful it seems. So I assure you that, and she like stares at Azrael, gives Seraph another look, and is Vittorio's eye. Says, the world that we will create will have a place for all of you.
Expect us to answer such a question without detailing for us further this plan. You're asking us to agree to something that right now is encased in a black box that we cannot see.
Francis
Exactly.
is now floating between his previous conviction that this was just about some amorous encounter with Theodore and Lady Susan, and he's in this like, I better wait this out for a bit.
Seems Seems like it's
Put
not about
yourself
Jews anymore.
in our position. If we told you, please, just allow us to do a secret thing we're not going to tell you about and support us, is that
Kind of how
something
we
you could
always
in good
operate.
conscience agree to?
I would not be in that position, nor would you if you had cared to look further into who you're having dinner with.
Why even ask our permission?
Because it
I
would
don't
be a
know that
shame to.
We ask people permission when we do things.
It would be a shame to have to stop you. You're all very interesting people.
Thank you.
Are we agreed?
Again, I don't know that I can agree to something that I don't know what I'm agreeing to.
I mean,
Mm.
Sarah knows more than any of us that any kind of loophole or unsaid
Perhaps
thing
another round of drinks would loosen our tongues a bit in this discussion.
are all the thralls getting really drunk. Princess is fine.
I only ask for your trust and to turn a blind eye when things seem dire. For I assure you they are not. This is for the good of all of us, and indeed all of England.
I am intrigued by this idea of everyone being able to exist together. Seems
Paloma.
utopic to me.
You, especially, and Vittorio, the society that we live in has a narrow view of who we are. Don't you think?
I have always thought
Vittorio just kind of nods.
that. At the same time, I have also before believed someone when they said that they knew what was best for me.
And your
in the
child?
world, and
Would you not like to walk openly in the street with Azriel? Not feel the scorn of others?
I certainly I want that more than anything, but I'm wondering about the cost. It sounds like there's a heavy cost.
Only if you value tradition.
Oh,
Yes,
without
I agree.
tradition, what can be outrageous?
Let me ask you
Exactly.
this.
The most
Exactly.
Francis comment
Francis
ever.
understands.
Ah.
Francis understands more than anyone.
Ah.
Why is it that you are
First
being
time he's ever heard that sentence.
why is it that you are being so opaque with us? Why will you not reveal more to us if this is to be an open conversation? We are trying to secure our trust and our support. Why it seems deceptive that you will
Oh,
not tell us all.
I apologize. This is not an open conversation. This is me giving you the opportunity to
Ask questions?
avoid
Oh.
interference. You don't need to know the details of my plans because you're not involved with them. And if you were to
Need to
become
need the
involved
details of our
with them,
plans.
if you were to become involved with them at some point, well, you certainly would not be invited to dinner again.
Oh.
Worst insult for Francis. Not invited.
And additionally, if I were to reveal my plans to you before you agreed not to interfere, that would give you the upper hand. You would know exactly how to stop me, which I cannot allow.
Hargrave always has the upper hand. These are some of the finest hunters in the house's history, I should say. So
Is that
don't worry
true?
about changing degrees of.
How much do you know about those in your own house? Has anything eluded your careful eye
Oh,
that is obvious to those who have a greater capability to see what is there?
I think Francis is not really following the thread anymore. Oh,
He just went over his head.
do you have a surprise?
I'm full of surprises.
Ooh.
So, Sareth, it seems like you are the primary holdout. Your colleagues seem to agree with me.
Don't do they? Is that how you interpret this conversation? It seems that we are all of like mind, that none of us will interfere with the others until such time as we deem it necessary.
And I'm only asking for that time never to come. For everyone's benefit. Can we agree on that much? What things have you done that others would consider evil? They would have stopped you if they had known. all
Paloma
of your
grabs
secrets.
Azrael's hand.
How many things, Francis, have you been accused of that you know in your heart are for your own good and others just do not see you for who you are?
The wheels turn in Francis's mind.
I require an answer, yes or no, from each of you. Yes, you will go along with me, or no? And everyone at the table is just deathly silent.
Doesn't really seem we have a choice.
Of course you have a choice.
And I'll always make a choice that keeps those I care about safe.
That simply has to be no.
Francis, I'm surprised
Surprise.
at you the most.
We have come to this home as decent, upstanding people to share a repast with the finer sorts of lovely friends and acquaintances. And you, madam, have been impolite.
Finer sorts of people. And he grabs Vittorio's hand, his right hand, which is near her, and places it on the table. And it is wrapped in a bandage that has blood starting to seep through.
Oh no.
What do you do to those who put their trust in you, Francis?
I don't think this is really parsing for him. Let's see here.
And she, if Francis hesitates, she grabs Vittorio by the wrist and begins unwrapping the bandage. And there's what appears to be a knife wound straight through his hand that is just oozing blood down his wrist. And he just looks
okay.
horrified.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think
The same place that you were stabbed in the hand.
Oh, okay.
Ricky.
I don't think that that'll twig on Francis yet, though, because I do think it is just like I think his instead. Oh dear, and I think he turns to Paloma and is like,
But I think Paloma is like kind of weirded out and it's
Hmm.
like, I bandaged that very same wound
"Oh, Paloma is
on a
putting it-
different body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I think like this is Paloma's first encounter with like, oh,
And
I think Francis
Vittorio
might
kind
be
of-
more than charming.
Vittorio kind of looks at Paloma pleadingly a little bit.
Hmm.
We should wrap that back up. It's bound to catch some
Bad
of the
arrow.
awful humors of this place.
Well, if the answer is no, the answer is no. I appreciate your candor.
Of course.
And she claps again.
Oh shit.
I'm assuming you'll take a no answer as a no, but I'll be frank with you. I mean, In my mind, it's neither a yes nor a no because we don't know what it is we're agreeing to. So no, we cannot say yes that we will go along with it no matter what. But I'm also not saying that, oh, we will stop you no matter what because we don't know what you're doing. So
All you would be
I would
agreeing
give you
to
benefit of the
be
doubt.
to let me be. Ignore my activities.
And that's
You would not have to do
something-
anything.
That's carte blanche we could never agree to.
No. So be it. And she clapped instead of twice, she clapped 3 times.
Oh, no.
And Tati smiles.
That's not good.
That's bad.
And
Oh,
little
really bad.
silver platters are put in front of you. Servant standing at your left side. Tati's rubbing her hands gleefully. And they lift the covers up. And there are, each person has a personal little mincemeat pie with a pig stamped in it.
No.
Let's do the last unseen.
Oh, no.
Princess is like, I love these.
There was something about this. Oh, right. That they're
I've
delicious.
had one of these before.
He's developed a taste.
It's back around to Nick, I think. Describe
Oh,
Act 3, in which the enthralled man manages to turn on the mad scientist and destroy him. The final scene should be very bloody.
Oh, I thought that was it. That was pretty great last time. Oh, fuck. Okay, so last time, let me get this. There was a body swap.
There was a body swap.
Well, it was going to be
Between-
anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he was about to swap between himself and his assistant.
Well, and the thing he summoned,
The
that
entity,
his
yeah.
wife had
Entity.
fallen in
The
love.
entity. Okay, so his wife has fallen in love with this entity, and so he's going to swap with the entity, and the entity's going to be stuck in his body.
Yeah, and then he was going to look like he had become like paralyzed or basically was like a vegetable because he had drugged his own body.
Okay.
So that way,
Yeah.
whoever's in his body couldn't protest and be like, "It's me!" Oh! So his body's definitely not much. Is about to be paralyzed.
And then
forever.
in this case, enthralled man. Oh, that's the entity.
yes,
Okay, I've got all the characters straight. All right. Describe Act 3, in which the enthralled man manages to turn on the mad scientist and destroy him. The final scene should be very bloody. So the final act begins almost immediately from that same moment because we had stopped at a cliffhanger. And the switch is complete. The man's body hangs limp and awkwardly, and you could see it being puppeted in ways that as if by an entity that's not used to being in the body. So that the transition was successful, and then the entity, the cloud smoke, somehow grows smaller, so it should be very bloody. And the cloud smoke laughs boomingly. I've done it. And the wife runs to the scientist's body and is like, "What? No, what have you done? What's happening?" And then points of light shoot out of the man's body, and he's starting to ooze and melt. This being done with a great deal of wax. I love how we are also like, this is how it's done on the Victorian stage.
Yes.
This man is slowly melting into a puddle of wax and blood. And the wife then goes back to the back wall and flips one of the switches that has been there the whole time. And it's like, "No, you bastard!" The switch flips, the entity howls through the room. So there's like this kind of wind that goes through the audience. The audience is amazed, as if the entity is leaving everyone the fuck behind. And you hear screams in the hallway. Paid actors paid to scream as it leaves. And the waxy, bloody figure rises slightly and says, "Forgive me, my wife." And she stomps it back into the ground.
Robocop splash. Yeah.
Yeah. Could have been bloodier, but
Awesome. No, that's great.
I got distracted.
Yeah.
I feel like
So
that's what one of the audience members says. Is like, yeah, it could have been bloodier.
could have
Could have been
bloodier.
bloodier. I thought there'd be more blood. Bunch of special effects.
Judging form, bloodiness. 6 out of 10.
So I think there's a look around the table, and Cyrus, Portia, Tati, Susan, Emily Blackwell, and Greco, and Azrael start tucking into their pies.
Oh no.
No! I think Paloma kind of pulls Azrael's pie away from him a little. It's like,
I think Francis remembers this and is going to be in high dudgeon mode about it, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think it's like he taps the glass again and says, "Excuse me, everyone, please hold for the moment. I have regrettable news about your supplier."
Busybody.
Yeah, indeed. As I can see from cunningly printed here upon the pie itself. He's talking about this like it's a Sherlock Holmes sort of reveal.
He's solving the case.
There is, if you notice, a pig imprinted here. These are none other than, like, it's like a murder wall with one piece of string. None other than the product of Fig's Pigs, which I am afraid to inform everyone is yet another place, another food supplier in dear London that has fallen prey to that ancient curse of cannibalism. I'm so sorry. I'm so glad I could say this before most of us could taste that forbidden material.
The others just kind of look at you blankly
who
and continue.
is?
Everyone.
Everyone
they
else.
just- and there's a beat, and then they just
Oh,
full in their
no.
mouths.
I think Francis looks pleadingly at Paloma because he doesn't understand what's going on. I did say the thing, right?
yeah, you said it very well.
Thank you.
I think Azrael's a little confused. It's like everyone else is eating, and I think Paloma's like trying to reassure Francis, but it's also like, no, don't eat it.
Azrael's like, why? Why
Also
can't
keeps
I?
being like,
Why can't I
everyone
have
else
any
gets to
pie?
eat it.
And Cyrus or Portia looks across the table at Cyrus and says, "It's a shame you couldn't join us. We had such interesting plans for you."
I think, okay. And can Francis at this point say, Portia, what are the plans?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure it would be old hat to someone like you, but with the things we know and the things that Seraph knows, we have such sights to show you.
Oh, God.
Well,
and
now
the-
see, you know how to propose a plan. You're proposing explaining things and bringing people in and together. You're not just telling me, oh, you go sit in Hargrave House and don't do anything no matter what you hear. Who could agree to that?
Francis is like, it's okay, Sarah. Kind of like trying to-
It seems you consider
her back,
us
hold them back.
actually a barrier.
Your approach is much better than Theodora's.
Who is that directed to?
To
Portia?
and yeah.
Portia. Oh, cool. Yes, full marks for an appealing view of this.
And Portia's a thrall, remember?
Yeah,
Um,
that's why I was wondering if that how that
yeah, and
would
she-
play out.
Yeah, so she still looks to Francis as if like, are we not doing this? I'm like, I'm gonna kind of follow your lead here. Theodora, though, says to Francis, "Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to have a word with the cook?"
And let's see, how does
Yes.
yeah.
It's your thrall.
Well, yeah, that's true as well.
Well, but Francis might not be thinking that way.
Yeah, it's hard to get in the mindset of like I think everything is so he's so used to people responding in normal ways that this is really throwing him, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like, yes, let's bring her in here. If you may.
Oh, her. Yes, of course.
I feel like this is the point at which Sarah becomes involuntarily a bit indignant, and I think I've looked to
Oh
to,
no.
to Francis and Paloma is like, listen, look, I'm sorry, I don't think we're giving them the reaction they want. I think we're supposed to be very shocked and appalled, and oh, they're eating the human pies. Ah!
Look, lots of people eat human pies. It's not a could
My first
happen
time
to
watching someone eat
literally
people
anyone.
and not stop after being told.
There are some differences.
I just feel like they're expecting something from us that they're not getting reaction wise, and I hate to be a rude guest.
But we were
This gets through to
expecting-
Francis.
We were expecting cooperation, but since that's not the case,
Oh, no.
she motions for her butler Elmore, who I believe you've met before, and
This is going
whispers
be
to him,
so
and
bad.
he disappears into the kitchen for a moment.
No.
And everyone's just politely tucking in their pies, except for the four of, well, Harley's not.
Asriel, no.
Asriel keeps sneaking bites. I'm like, stop it.
Harley is like conspicuously keeping his hands on the table and just
Oh,
trying
no.
to not
Aw.
move or be seen. And yeah, Vittorio is just like got a bloody hand and is like looking down at Paloma like, are you this is and Elmore comes out of the kitchen
No.
with a woman with one arm.
Is that Hortensia Fig?
That
Or-
is Hortensia Fig, who you have definitely met before.
Okay.
Where's
yeah.
Lewis?
She says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you not appreciate my cooking? Seems like you were very interested in it before."
And that's directed at Francis.
Yes.
Well, obviously, you know your way around flavorings and things like that. But once I knew what it was, I didn't eat another one when presented. That's not the point. Where is he going with this? Yeah, I think at this point, oh God. Yeah. I think Francis is on the edge of saying, like, everyone, we're leaving. But
Perhaps you'd prefer a different.
I don't think he's saying that because I think he's still in busybody mode. And he's
Perhaps
like,
you'd
if I
prefer another
stick ar-
cut, a different cut. Your
Now
Mr. Sim.
it all makes sense as to why Tatiana is so strict about what is and is not human.
Your Mr. Simpson still has plenty to give.
Who's Simpkin?
Tomsey,
Tomsey. Oh,
From,
okay.
the guy who ran Cremora Gardens, who is a thrall of yours, was a thrall of yours, who was the leader of the cult.
leader of the cult.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. So
Paloma definitely grabs Asriel and like put him back on her lap. And is trying
Yeah.
to protect him.
and I think Francis does piece it together. You killed Tomsey, the most harmless, well-meaning gentleman in all of London.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh dear.
Made it very clear that we made the right decision to not
Hmm.
go along with you.
Some people just have stricter lines about what is acceptable and not, I suppose, and we fall on different sides.
Well, obviously.
Perhaps we should
Hmm.
adjourn to the study. Those
Would
who
this-
are among us.
Would this be a time to do Beacon in the Night? Oh, float that idea.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of like, waiting for it to happen. I wasn't sure how it would happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
you want
now,
to you want to
'cause-
do a beacon?
I mean, yeah, definitely at some point in the evening. I didn't know
Yeah,
if
that
I had
makes
to
sense.
activate. I thought it was something that just like happened at night.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Oh,
No, I mean, I could be
Uh,
wrong.
Yeah, I
Beacon
think you
in
have
the
to call
dark.
for it.
Oh, but it has to be walking the streets of London. Okay, never mind.
Mm,
Yeah. There you go. So,
um, yeah, I think you're going to be presented with a threat anyway.
Oh, no.
The
We have a threat in front of us, Hortensia.
I know, I too exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kind of thought that was it when you brought her out. I was like, oh, there's the beacon. That's the threat.
Yeah.
And then threat number 2, a door opens and we see a backlit silhouette that honks.
No,
Hey, Lewis, he's back.
No.
no,
and I think
Lewis. They switched
everyone-
bodies.
Let's see.
Although at this point, I'm
Paloma.
like, no.
What are you afraid might happen if Harley
Don't
joins them?
bring me into this.
Oh,
What's
no.
that? If
What-
Harvey joins in?
If Harley joins them?
I'm afraid of both Harley and I'm thinking about Blackwell too. I'm afraid that they will be able to. I'm afraid the
Oh.
Blackwell will stop.
Blackwell's
Uh,
definitely
try-
in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid that Harley will help. Well, I guess Gerald's with her. If Harley joins, I feel like Harley and I have been out in vulnerable states with one another,
Oh,
watching the penny arcades, and I think Harley actually knows about as much about Paloma as anyone who has seen Paloma wear all of the masks. Like, I think he knows Paloma the most information wise, and Paloma is. I don't know if she's directly worried about that because she's mostly worried about Asriel, but that is
Mm.
a danger. If he goes over, then he has a lot of information that would be used as leverage against Paloma about her past, because she's talked about Anna and Lucy, and if they could find Anna, yeah,
Ooh.
I think the Anna
oh,
piece
no.
is what would be the scariest.
hmm.
I think it's worse than that.
What? How? I tried to make it really bad.
I think he has already been working with Dr. Blackwell.
God damn it, Harley.
And-
I'm not giving you that watch.
Worse than Lloyd.
And she has completed her child as well.
Motherfucker.
What is this a roll with? Hmm.
Oh no.
That's bad.
I kind of feel like it's with presence. Because it's how much you and Harley are.
Would you like
Connected.
advantage on this roll?
Oh yeah, would you like
I'm gonna
advantage
give
on this?
Harley the watch back.
Oh, okay. You're
Oh,
set then.
perfect. All right.
This is the time.
That is amazing. Perfect. Yes. Oh, and your presence is 0. Okay.
Yeah, it's
just,
bad.
So it's
That's
just
not
3
negative.
dice, top 2. Yeah.
I mean, I will take any help if anyone wanted to help.
Yeah, I can only give you advantage.
Oh yeah, I think the watch makes sense right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got this.
Don't leave Harley.
Ugh.
Oh, top 2 is a 6.
I think I turn to him and I say, I was hoping for a better time, perhaps a quieter time, or one less filled with human meat pies, but I know Henry would have wanted you to have this.
And he takes it in his hand and sort of
Watch
puts
it
his
backfire.
hand on top of yours and looks you in the eye and just says, I'm so sorry. And outside, you see a shadow where Azrael was. It is bigger than Azrael is. It has more arms and legs than Azrael does, and they're not attached in the right way.
Sloppy work.
Amateur.
And
Yeah,
you
right.
see the shadow slip away and then appear at the doorway to the dining room. It is about 8 feet tall and has to duck to get in. It's got
A baby.
three rows of arms attached to its torso, a tiny little head, and kind of like, it looks like another, like they're not arms or legs, maybe like some sort of flippers or something. It kind of flops forward and just like scuttles towards you and grabs arms and legs and pulls apart you.
Me.
Squish.
What?
Sloppy work. Am I going to be its next arms? Does it then
Yeah.
attach to my arms?
Now it's got more arms.
I need to know. We need to keep playing the scene because I need to see if it's the arms that can attach to it.
Would you like to put on a mask?
Yeah. Yeah. That's bad.
Mask of the Past or the Darkened Threshold? Your last Mask of the Future that won't kill you.
I think this doesn't feel like destroying a professional rival. Unless it would be, I guess it would be.
Ooh,
Anna.
I mean, if you wanted to,
Or could it be Blackwell?
yeah, now would be an amazing time to destroy her, or maybe have Azrael destroy her.
Yeah, does the narrate, so actually that sorry, I should sit down before I ask my question. The mask, does it work? I always thought it worked like we were doing a flashback, but can I
Mask of the
narrate
Past
something
do.
that's happening now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Yeah,
if
normally I
you-
would do a mask of the past.
Yeah, if you mark the Darkened Threshold, you can do pretty much whatever you want with Blackwell.
Yeah, I think I'll do that one. I have an idea.
Okay,
And I think oh, go ahead.
go for it.
And I turn to Dr. Blackwell and I go, Anna. You always were rather sloppy when it came to beyond the mind. Only you would try to revive a body that spirit had been destroyed. You are so keen when it comes to manipulating the mind, but know nothing of the heart, nothing of the body. And that's why you may feel like you succeed, but your successes will always be partial. And I will never be yours again.
She get like her expression changes and she shakes her head. I thought I had removed all memories from you. I suppose I'll have to do better next time.
I do sometimes wonder how many times it has been.
Not enough, apparently. And she,
It's
If
not,
you
it's
allow
not
her.
fun for you if you don't get to do it again, is it?
If you allow her, she will get up and join the others in the study.
If I allow her?
I mean, you can do anything you want to her at this point. This feels like destroying her
Yeah.
pretty well. But if you want to do something else, open season.
I think I turned to her and I think because this isn't the first time this has happened. I think that we have like a weird cat and mouse game.
Oh no.
And I think that Paloma has only so this black hole person has been in her life and she didn't even recognize that it was this abusive ex.
Yeah.
And now does, I think because she's finally put her attention so much on Azrael. I think that's, oh my gosh, I think that's why Paloma is so driven to be a mother. Because when she puts her energy and care on something, she can actually clear her mind and not get so muddled.
Oh.
Yeah. Nice.
And that's
Awesome.
when it can break free. And she's not able to break free from Anna unless she's like, and she's actually like a better person when she's a mother, even though she's super fucked up in many ways. And she says, well, you know the rules, Anna. London's mine for a while. Find somewhere else. Until
and
next time.
She pauses at the door. So at this point, Theodora, the Abernathys, Rico, and Lady Susan Vane Tempest have left the room. And I think as she pauses at the threshold, she kind of looks over your shoulder and says, we'll see, and then leaves. And you see Harley with his eyes wide. And then his head erupts in a shower of blood and bone.
No
And
blowback.
this is not blowback. This is
I
the
know.
complication.
I know.
And Paloma, you are momentarily deafened in your left ear by the report
Oh.
of a musket that Tati is holding. And she just gives all the rest of you a look and says, run.
Can I do mother's love now? Because she's got a
you
fucking gut. She's
you
got
could,
a gun
yeah.
out, and my baby is there. Right
Yeah.
next to her. In between me and Tati is my baby. So I'm gonna fucking tear some eyeballs out. I just broke up with my ex again. We're doing this.
Oh man.
Activate Team Hargrave.
I
What are
didn't
you
even
afraid might
realize the
happen?
Blackwell thing until you said that. She's gonna shoot me. They're gonna make me.
If she doesn't, if you don't get her,
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna, let's see. Let me remind myself of others.
Well, the real
It's been a while
danger is
since
getting
we've
the
gotten-
kid right now, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I'm mostly worried that she's gonna Azrael.
So the move is when
Um,
someone or something you love is in danger and the situation is desperate, you may roll with an advantage on a vitality roll. If you on a fail, you take the condition berserk, and on a 7 to 9, you take the condition exhausted.
Great.
What are you afraid if you can't stop her before she fires another shot at someone in the room?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try. If I can't stop her,
Yeah.
can I say how I'm trying to do it? Because I think
I
that's
said musket.
Right.
It's not a musket. It's a double-barreled shotgun. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I'm just- oh, run,
Musket.
run, just yeah, run, fuckers.
Reload.
yeah, I think I'm going for like whereas normally I would like pick up Azrael and run. I think I'm scooping him, pushing him to run, and then shoving at the rifle and at her
Mhm.
to try to make her lose balance, at least momentarily, so that everyone can get away.
There's also a
And
whole
then I
table
can
full of
run after
silverware if you like, but
What's
yeah,
that?
there's
Table full
also
of silverware.
a table full of silverware if you care to use any of that. So
I don't know that Paloma's really thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
Paloma's thinking like
you might have a
get the
scalpel up
kid
your
out,
sleeve or something too.
shove. I'm sure I
Shove her
do.
into the cabinet of.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna shove her in
Something.
this cabinet full
Statues.
of things that Francis had complimented,
Yeah.
breaking them. Glorious.
So what are you afraid might happen if you don't get to her before she gets off a shot?
Oh yeah, I'm afraid she's gonna get Azrael.
My beautiful face.
Or any of the others.
Or
But
plus-
Azrael first.
It's worse than that. She unloads the second barrel into Azrael, and then the other hunter joins her hunt.
What?
There's a
Then
second,
another hunter joins her.
not a Hargrave.
Oh,
hunter,
someone
but
turns
like
against
some-
me?
Oh yeah, not a Hargrave House hunter.
Oh,
Someone,
I was like, that's awful.
an as yet unrevealed hunter, who I imagine you can imagine.
Okay.
Cool. So this is going to be a vitality roll with advantage.
Yeah. I forget
You're-
whether this is a good idea or not.
Vitality is 0. So let's roll 3 dice to pick the top 2.
Whew.
I have Dapper
60.
Boy's knife. Oh wait, no, that's advantage. I can't get more
Yeah.
advantage, can I?
No.
You can't get more advantage than advantage.
I also don't think that I'm thinking that straight. So 3 dice, top 2.
3 dice, top 2. Yeah.
Whew.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll stop hogging the spotlight.
Oh no, that's-
Uh,
Kill her. Or maim her. Something her.
yeah, I don't I think I don't.
Mask. 12 plus.
Yeah, right.
Come
Do it.
Mastermind clue.
Yes!
That is a 9.
Oh yeah.
9. Okay.
A 9 does it.
Oh,
Good,
no more
but not
masterminds. We gotta. We want to threat in the morning. It'll be fun.
um,
I need to put my
So-
hands in some guts.
ooh.
I'm gonna have sex with her. No.
with a 12 plus you could have. I think with a 9, you definitely push her off balance into like whatever rack of bric-a-brac was there.
Yeah.
and-
whatever exactly the thing that Francis was complimenting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Theodora used to be a pirate, and part of her decorations includes swords on the wall. And you just pushed her into them, not the sharp parts, and so she's off balance.
Oh.
And she like kind of like and reaches up on the wall and grabs a saber.
No.
What do you do? Or any of you, what do you do?
I think
Oh,
I've
God.
tried to get everyone to run away.
I mean, honestly,
run.
whether it's a good idea or not, I don't care. I feel like instinctually at this point, I feel like I would grab a knife off the table and try to put it in her eye.
Yes.
I just feel like that's just like it's just someone just fired a gun and Spaloma. I feel like it's just like it's time for
Oh.
shit to go down.
And I think, oh God, yeah, Francis is going to jump forward in proper Queensberry boxing stance to throw a punch.
The one person
Amazing.
with some actual vitality.
Except I'm doing the one thing I'm terrible at, which is proper boxing. I have brought this to a knife fight.
Oh,
and
God.
I do have the Dapper Boy's knife.
So I mean, I don't
My
know.
scalpels.
I don't have
I
high
think-
hopes for this. I just feel like it's what fight or flight.
So I
would
have
do.
to take the condition exhausted though.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Which is fair.
How
That was
do
a
we
lot.
do a multi-person fight? How about this? Francis is probably closer because they're on the same side of the table. How about we roll with Francis's vitality with advantage because you're both attacking her.
Okay. Okay.
So that's going to be dice. Take the top 2 plus 3.
Okay.
Seems like good odds.
Wargrave team activate.
3 dice.
Team.
Okay. I'm rolling 3 dice. That is a 5 and a 3 plus 3 is 11.
All right. Tell me how you stop her together as a crew.
Well, I do like that this is the one time Francis does like the perfect aesthetic, like proper punch that he could never manage in any of his club days.
Oh, totally
Sure.
against the Queen's rule.
Maybe that's because
Well, I think it is a total proper Queen's rules blow. though.
Oh,
This is the one time he manages it. He pulls it together.
Maybe that's because in trying to plunge the knife into her eye, I missed, but maybe I like plunge it into her shoulder or something, so she's distracted, and you're just like,
I like
"Fuck!"
you. I like you getting the knife in her eye, and then Francis lands the punch.
All right, that's
Knock her
cool
down.
too. I
It's
love
like,
it.
squish, fuck, boom.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I advise running.
Yeah.
I do feel like he throws the punch and it's like, shall we run now?
You're
for the
running
best.
with Azrael and Vittorio, I assume.
Oh no, Vittorio.
Oh, Vittorio.
Yeah, I
Um,
assume we're gonna.
Yeah, I think we just see you scampering off into the night.
Oh, really? I thought there was.
But, yo, we can take Fig and Theodora and everybody.
Oh God.
We can take them all.
And I think that's the end. That's the end of the night phase.
Oh man.
We high five. Sound
Thanks,
five.
Rain.
Exhausted high five.
Woo. That didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. That's great.
Oh man. Yeah, I'll be keen to know eventually what the sort of variations were.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who the cook was, but it was definitely a cannibal.
I didn't know
Um,
the Blackwell was Anna until
Me neither. I was like,
that
he was like,
happened. I was like,
I was like,
oh,
oh no, her first name's. Oh no! Oh god! Let's do a quick dawn phase, and we'll wrap it up.
Cool.
Let's see. No threat was resolved. Answer our dawn questions and mark experience.
Did either Sereth or I? Neither of us got an echo, right?
I didn't.
we
do
got the
shit.
echoes for the shrimp, right?
Shrimp
We ate the
echo?
Shrimp
With the
echo.
Weren't the shrimp like the ribbon dancers? Maybe a stretch, but I'll take it.
Yeah, if it's
feel like-
allowable, then that takes.
Um,
I feel like at some point when I was narrating something, I felt an echo, but I
Okay.
don't remember what it was now.
I would argue that Theodora's monologue echoes the scientist's monologue. So I think everyone
Oh.
present gets an
Yeah.
echo for that.
And there was both bodies that Sarah had been in. So there was body
Oh,
Extra.
swap
Body
Body
swap
swap
illusion.
references.
We can talk about that. I mean, I don't know
yeah,
if
so
my
everybody
if my creeping sexual dark tendrils had anything to do with dark entities, but probably not. I wasn't face to face with a dark entity.
We
Uh,
tried to have an affair.
I tried so hard to have sex with so many people.
I would say that between
Everybody.
the dark entities creeping up on them and extended footsie, I think you can get 1 XP between those two.
Just kind of absees on both.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take charity.
Neither one was full on, but I think that's you put in the work.
Well, hey, at least that gets me a level up. So hey, that's just enough to get me
Yeah.
leveled up.
And that gets you a new move, is that right?
I think that's all I've got. I think.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
choose- And I only have one move left, which is I think I'm putting a ritual chamber in Hargrave House now. Yep.
Ooh. And resurrectionists, you got a valuable during the night, I think.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Ask another hunter what they found. I guess that would be the only one left.
Oh,
you know, it's, Gerald, I think, who was working with Anna.
There might be more. Maybe they make some hires.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
just a,
yeah.
you know,
Oh, maybe Gerald brings me something from Anna.
ooh, yeah. What does he bring?
Oh,
Maybe he has to leave with her, but he brings me something.
Like,
before
Here's
he
something for your
heads off.
trouble.
Like, get the fuck out of my face, Gerald.
Yeah, so ask one of the other hunters what he brought you. And
Yeah, who
add it
has
to your
a
personal
hit?
quarters.
I think I have the hit.
Yeah, go for it.
No, it is a volume of Anna's journal.
Ooh,
Oh shit!
amazing.
And I still have some masks of the past about getting in a fight with someone I love.
Yeah.
Anna will come back.
Personal boundaries.
Volume of Anna's
Cool, and that is
journal.
Dawn. So here's a question I have for you. Technically, night phase is over, and we will move to a new day phase. However, this is an exceptional situation,
Hmm.
and I will make the offer of doing a second night phase
Double nine.
during which you are hunted by the Brathwaites. Does that sound fun, or would you prefer to go to day and continue on the normal cycle?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm conflicted. I understand the story sense of it. It doesn't seem
Yeah,
terribly
getting away is
fun.
super legit too. So yeah. So let's just do day then. Yeah, cool.
Okay. I didn't mean to spoil. I
No,
hope
no,
that's
no.
not
No, I
spoiling
think it
anything
feels
for
like
you.
we earned a getaway.
Had enough shit go against us. I don't really want another like, yeah, let's be fucked some more.
Yeah,
Oh,
shape of
nice.
show
Oh,
is
nice.
like recover and then let the next
Yeah.
thing go around.
Awesome.
Thank you
Then,
for making the offer though.
Yeah, we will
I
start
was like,
next time
yeah.
at the day. Back at Hargrave.
And I do like
Whatever
the
is
notion of all of us just being like, what just
Cool. Scene. We're done. Let's jump into stars and wishes, and let's do Peter first.
Oh, sure. I think the main star for me is just the shape of season thing of having this be so genuinely scary, of like the creepiness factor going up and up and up at the dinner was delightful. And I appreciate everybody kind of rolling with me, kind of pausing to be like, okay, how does Francis deal with this thing and this thing and this thing? Because it was all so many events so far out of kind of what we've done so far that I had to sort of draw out the map of what is this version of Francis's character like in this case. Let's see, wishes. I definitely want the goose back at some point. I definitely want the Appa's lost days for the goose.
Yes.
Let's see, what else I definitely, I hope we can get to a vulnerable scene where we kind of start processing what was going on there, just because I don't know, maybe this is part of what attracts me about the day phase at this point, is that there's so much relationship character stuff for the hunters to process at this point, that's kind of where the heat is for the story for me right now. I think that's everything that comes to mind. I'm excited to know more about what the plan is. And kind of, I'm hoping that we can shape this so we discover about the plan and then kind of get to the story on the other side of, now we know how fucked we are. Now there's more to be done.
And I think your 15th mastermind clue will be like,
oh, excellent,
the last puzzle piece, and then the thread.
Oh yeah, we could be kind of using the mastermind clues to kind of unravel this, couldn't we? Yeah.
Priorities.
I think that's everything after that.
Cool. Heath.
I mean, all the usual stars. It's just so much fun. Just always just following whatever happens, and just going with a moment. And I feel like everybody's real strong at that. And wishes. What are my wishes? I have wishes. What are they? So yeah, all just related to me. Like I'm trying to view things objectively and not through my own brain of like trying to process. I had this feeling of like a streak of ineffectual. Like I just feel completely ineffectual as a character. Like I can never do anything. I can't do anything. I'm useless. But I also know that part of that's my own. I also just like question everything I do, and I'm like, that's dumb. Or whatever. So I was like, trying to like, what should I do? I don't fucking know. I'll do that. That's stupid. Just try. Yeah, it's a weird, because I mean I know, like all of us have certain things our characters are like very niche specific. I know all of us have like questions we can't necessarily always answer and things, so it's not unique to me. But it's just like been I don't know, like a streak of just feeling like, man, I don't feel like I can do anything. Other, occasionally I like do a good ritual and I did something, woo, or something, but that's just on like a regular basis. I feel like I have my moments of like, hey, Sirius did something big, but then the rest of the time it's like Sirius tries to do shit and doesn't. None of it ever happens.
Right. Brilliant. I'll look for more opportunities for that. And Nick.
Yeah, I know that I felt that way before. Especially when I've rolled badly, like you're saying, Heath. But I think it is also just kind of the shape of the game sometimes.
Yeah.
You're just like, I'm fucking everything up. Yeah, I think the only wish that I have is, well, I think it worked out. Like, I think in those moments, like when Theodora is offering us a choice, as a player, I'm like, no. But I was like, I think Paloma is like, I'm all about protecting my child right now. And like, I'll say yes. And so I was proud of myself for holding on to that. Although I sometimes still have trouble being like, this is the right answer. But stars, I did not expect any of the thing. Like, I came into this being like, I have no idea what is going to happen. I only came in with like, okay, I'm just going to react to things, because I think Paloma does it. The only decision I made was that like Azriel wouldn't be there. And then I kind of made up like, oh yeah, because Azriel wanted to be there. And then because we fought, and that would be the worst thing that would happen. But then that became like Paloma's source of power. And then I think just having to wear the mask and seeing that the only options were either to fight with Anna or to destroy a professional rival, which is either like Anna or Blackwell. I was like, oh no, they're the same. It was like one of my favorite things to happen in improv or in games is that discovery. And that was such a neat moment to be like, oh fuck, I know who this is. So that was really special. That's like one of my favorite things. Yeah. And my other wish is I'm worried about Lewis.
Yeah, Lewis back.
That's all our wishes.
That's part of the, like, I was like, oh, if we do a chase scene, as long as Lewis can be there.
Yeah, I was considering having them bring in like a goose made of meat or something, like not Lewis, but like I know. We're like, that's too much.
Undead goose.
So cannibal pies instead, not too much. Stars for me. Yeah, the Anna moment was just like, what? Like, no, that's not Anna. That's, oh no!
I couldn't have pre-planned that.
Fucking amazing.
Pre-planned that.
Yeah, so that was great. Like we said, and rolling with the misses is always fun. Like, you could have just been like, nope, Azriel's not there. This is a nice party. No, it is not a nice party.
No, I fucking go until I die. And
It
then
was
I
a
asked
nice
if my
party
arms
up
got
to a
the
point.
And then working in the mother's love and just like charging the lady with the shotgun, always good to see. Love that. Azriel's great. I actually loved some of the stuff that Sereth is doing. I think the move to like immediately play footsie with the Abernathys was fucking brilliant, because they're like, yeah, I was like, don't miss, because this is gonna be great. And you're like 11. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, they are super into it. They like your vibe, and they have such sights to show you.
Oh, God.
And that was amazing.
Oh, no.
Just the escalation of that, and I was genuinely worried that, because I don't know, I feel like I crafted a good argument from Theodora. It's like,
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
are fucking weirdos.
Sure.
I'm making a world where weirdos are cool, so I just want to make sure you're cool. I was afraid you're all be like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's fucking party.
Yeah, almost got me with that until you
No,
No,
said.
it was very tempting. It was
"Don't
definitely
interfere."
not. I mean,
And
kudos to you, because it wasn't like a hard, like, no, we're not going to do that. You're a. It was like,
yeah,
you're making a good argument.
We'll hear you out.
but big star to Sarah for being the one who's just like, no, you need to
Tell us what the thing is.
what's going on? And she's like, you don't need to fucking know. She's like, yeah, we do.
So I was like,
Come
fine.
on, man. So yeah, both of those were like fucking great moments. Even if it didn't feel effectual, like they had huge impacts on what happened. So I loved it. And just fucking Francis being a golden retriever.
Always
I took such
entertaining.
delight in you are being rude.
Except for the
Just
one
like-
time he was direct, which is scary.
Yeah. Which like being oblivious to the harm being caused to your followers is
Yeah, so
That'd
I'm
be
sorry
fun.
to but like,
Yeah.
so that's the idea, is that all of the physical wounds happening to him are sloughed off, not to the painting.
yeah,
but
they like go through the painting and then
through
into
the
your
painting to
followers.
his followers. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Sorry, go ahead.
and well, I don't know how much I want to talk about this. It'll definitely come up next time. But there were things that may have seemed like mistakes that were not mistakes that will come up. But yeah, I had no idea.
Now
Some
I'm like-
mistakes.
Yeah,
Gonna go through.
equations floating around.
Again, I had no idea. I like came up with this scene chart. I was like, who would be fun to cause trouble here? Definitely someone for Sarah, someone for Paloma, and Francis just gets along with everyone, so it doesn't matter.
Put
But,
him next to Theodora.
oh yeah, but putting Cyrus there was for that. And then yeah, like sitting Francis next to Theodora is like, this is gonna be fun because she like, and just the arrangement was super fun to put together. And but beyond that, it's like, I don't know, I think like if something goes wrong, there'll be a fig involved somehow, and she's in with the Charles Street gang, so of course Irma's gonna be there as a cook. Other than that, I don't know, I like had some vague idea of like Toddy just being like a shitty kid, and just ran with that. And it was great. Everything y'all did just like built up to, and I didn't have an idea for what her plan was until like half an hour before the session. So like I have an idea now. We'll see what happens. And yeah, just like being able to pull out the like, okay, and again, I was like, because the mastermind is like, I'm gonna do this thing, which modern audience was probably like, yeah, that makes sense. Go for it. So like getting it put in a way that can be pushed against was a lot of fun. But if it didn't, something else would have happened. It would have been great. I think what would have happened if you were like, yeah, let's do it, you would have still brought out the cannibal pies and it's like, cool, let's all eat people to seal the deal.
And then what if
and
we
then
did that?
Yeah, then who fucking knows? Yeah, and wish is just to see how all this gets processed. Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis's day off.
Lewis's day off.
Also, we do really good unseens.
Yeah, the unseens were great.
Fucking
Love
good.
them. This is a really
We
fun
put
one.
on a good imaginary play.
Something I really enjoyed, I always thought just like I enjoy everybody's characterizations and everything, but like I realized there was one moment in particular where I really realized like there's something in my head that I was like, oh, this is also going on in a scene. None of us said it, none of us talked about it, but I just like though that we're all developed enough, because I specifically it was when Francis was doing his, let me tell you, that emblem on the pies means they're from figs and they're made of people. And like the whole time he was doing that, I just knew it. Like me and Paloma would probably just look at each other and just grinning, just letting him go, going, hey, he's doing his, just enjoying the ride while watching everybody else's reactions. Like, oh, they're really getting, it's just funny. But just like having that relationship, like I just knew that was happening. It's like we didn't talk about it. It wasn't a thing we interjected. It wasn't a scene. We do this, but it's like it's just so much fun. And I already said it, but again, like the way I think you concocted the plan perfectly, because it was like just one step shy of being able to be acceptable. It was like, well, your concept sounds appealing. Tell me more. No, I'm not going to.
I'm going to do something terrible. Don't stop me.
I can't agree to a carte blanche, but if you give me more details, you're not going. Well, then I guess we're at an impasse.
Who's the mastermind here?
It sets up like such a good philosophical conundrum of like, I'm setting up this like utopia world that it's pretty appealing to all of you, but like if the cost is this, is it worth it? Like, well,
Well, exactly. That's why it's so perfect because it's something that would happen in real life. It's like, okay, so look, here's my end goal, and you're going, okay, that sounds good, sounds good, sounds good. How are you going to get there? You don't need to know that.
Have a human.
Kinda-
I'm
Kinda
gonna
do.
start a
One
company that sells books, and
Oh
then
God.
oh, it's ones who walk away from Omelas.
Oh God.
yeah,
We're like,
Except for
perfect
like
Like,
the
world.
Warriors the kid.
you don't need to know how the sausage is made. All right, let's just.
Yeah.
just trust me, it's fucking tasty. Just believe this.
And kudos for setting up like a well-made play dinner party of just like there are terrible secrets that everyone is bringing
I was like,
to this.
I was like, I have
That's what-
things in the tube like that I can bring out, but I don't know how to get from like sitting down and chatting over appetizers to her doing something, which turned out to be asking you not to interfere. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
like, okay, cool. Let's just see where this goes.
with a lesser game master. It could have just been a very awkward, quiet dinner party. What are you guys doing? I don't know.
I'm
What's
just
she
imagining
doing?
a version of
Nothing
tomorrow
really.
Mark has like written every possible detail of the dinner party and is going to try
Like
and
the
get it
rehearsal,
back onto the
like the rehearsal with all the paths and
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm glad, Mark, for
Hargrave houses
your,
to tortured kids.
your game management of like, you have enough rails there that like we have a structure, but not enough that it's like, well, I didn't expect you to run outside.
Right.
But the rails are not put together into a track at all. They're just lying. on-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well,
And-
okay, hang on. Go.
And as
you know,
players,
over
we're
here.
not like suddenly scared of like, oh no, if I do this, it'll ruin whatever's set up here.
Yeah.
So, like,
That's where I think everybody's like
Seems
improv
impossible, right?
background really comes into play because you could really see how any players or game master how it could go really wrong if you weren't comfortable just tackling whatever the fuck gets thrown at you. You're like, what? I hadn't planned for that.
But do the thing I wanted you to do. Yeah. Yeah, and I think
Or
the
there's
game,
not like impossible creatures. Like,
yeah, I think the game supports folks who don't have that good or that extensive of a background, but I think it requires more preparation and kind of like doing that sort of like thing like, okay, if they do this, then I'll try something this, or they do this, I'll try this. But yeah, you can't prepare for everything, so why prepare for anything?
It's just like, yeah, like me attacking. Part of me is like, I don't want to do this, but also like, I think that's what I do in this situation. It's like, heat of the moment, someone just shot a gun or trying to kill you. We're all just, I don't know, grab a knife. You know, it's like,
Roll for initiative. Let's take the next 3 hours to figure out this fight.
all right, get out the hex map.
Stab her in the eye.
That's what I-
Great, you're out.
there was a lovely moment of like, okay, so where is everyone physically in space? It's like, yes, we went into hex map territory.
Hex maps,
At
get the
dinner
miniatures.
party.
It was fun. I was glad being.
Dinner party war game. Yeah.
I am
It
still
was-
waiting
it-
for.
It was
on the-
fun getting
it's
to
on the list.
function, as T-Rex put it, as the Hargrave Voltron. It was fun to all come together at that moment and be like, "You shove her, I'll knife her. He punches her. We're out."
Run away! Smoke bomb!
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I had no idea how this was going to go, and I felt really good about it. So, good things to everyone. Cool. I'm gonna stop the recording. Thank you for hanging out to our VIP. And anyone else who
everybody.
is watching, come and chat with
Yeah.
us, and you can be a VIP too. Our bar is accessible.
accessible. Our bar is accessible.
Alrighty.
Ringtone.
Oh no.
We can't hear, but we
I
see
can't
Bob
do
to
that.
it,
I can
which
do the
is
cantina
pretty
scene.
satisfying.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the stream before we get a strike.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.